recording and get the audio going. Oh, this isn't going to work.
Chat room, get hyped.
TBD 2 set TWBD 1. Okay, here we go. Audio is underway. Ain't no turning back from that. Here comes 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a special one-off edition of There Will Be Dungeons. Yes, that's right. When one of our usuals isn't here, today it's John, he's not around, we do a little thing on the side, okay? And today is going to be really interesting and fun. Before we get to all those explanations, I would like to remind you all that our good friends at phoenixpearltea.com/TWBD have some very cool teas that match up nicely with what we do here on this show. And if you want to support them, it supports us. Head on over and check them out. Perfect time of year to get it. Gifts and all that. Go to TWBD. Sorry, go to phoenixpearltea.com/TWBD. Okay. We are going to take a moment here to explain what we're doing today, and I'll let Bo do that, and then we'll kick it off in style. So, Bo, you want to explain the rules, kind of what we're up to, and, you know, this sort of thing?
Yes, thank you very much. Welcome, everyone, to the one-off. We are playing Star Trek Adventures. It's a tabletop RPG that has a slightly different system than what you're used to. So I thought maybe it'd be a good idea just to orient everyone a little bit on the basics before we start the game proper.
Yeah.
Mainly that it centers on a system called the 2D20 system, which is by the people who make it. I think it's Mephidius or Mephisto or something like that, game company. And basically, everything that you do in this game is like a skill check for the most part, except for combat and ship combat, which we'll deal with if we get to it at all, and we'll muddle our way through it. But the main thing is instead of skill checks, it's called tasks. So anything you want to do, it's a task. And in Star Trek Adventures, rather than having strength, dexterity, constitution, you have these things called attributes and disciplines. So you actually have 12 different things. And to do a skill check, you're going to add an attribute to a discipline. So the attributes are control, fitness, presence, daring, insight, reason. So these are like the version of strength, dexterity, your natural, innate abilities as a being. And then you have disciplines. These are things you learned at Starfleet or training. So you might be good at security or science, medicine, engineering, command, or con. Okay. So for example, to make... and this is where it's going to be rough because it's knowing you have to combine the two for different tasks, and learning that is a bit of a challenge. But let's say I want to fire a phaser at someone, make an attack. That's going to be maybe control for aiming, and then I'm going to combine it with security because security is where you combat. So if I look at Scott's character sheet briefly, he has a 10 in control and 3 in security. That's going to make his target number to complete the task 13. Okay. Now, in this game, in D&D, you have to roll over a target number that I set. In this game, you have to roll under your target number. So when you roll your D20s, you've got to roll a 13 or under, and that counts as a success. So as you can see, as that number gets higher, it gets easier and easier to roll. However, that's not the end of the story. The DM will set the difficulty, which means the number of successful rolls you have to do. So let's say you're trying to fire phaser a mile away. It's a hard shot. That's a difficulty 5. You're going to have to roll a 5 successes.
Okay.
But let's say he's nearby. It might be a 2. And so how does that rolling work? If you have a difficulty of 2, you have to roll 2 successes. So by default, you get to roll 2 d20. All right. So you roll 2 d20s. And for each one that's under, it counts as a success. So let's say I rolled a 2 and a 3. Boom. I hit the target. If I only rolled 1 success, then it's going to be a miss. A 1 is a critical 1, which means you get 2 successes for rolling a 1. And the other thing is if you score more successes than you need on a given roll, you get to store that as momentum. So you can either use momentum to do additional damage, or if you're scanning a rock, you'll get more information than you might. So if applicable, you can cash in the momentum right away. If not, you can put it in a pool that your party shares that can hold up to 6 momentum, and everyone can cash in those momentum to roll extra d20s to meet their challenges.
Oh, wow.
So that's momentum.
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's how, say, on a difficulty of 5, you only start with 2d20s. You can cash in some momentum to make that impossible shot because of skill checks you've succeeded earlier. The skill checks can range from 0 dice required, meaning you can store up some momentum, to 5. So that's typically 1 to 5.
Okay.
The opposite, I have a resource pool as DM called threat. And essentially, I'm going to start the game with 6 threat. Okay. And you have 0 momentum. Now, I can use threat the same way. I can use threat in a lot of different ways to roll extra dice for the NPCs, to create complications in the situations you're in. So you don't want to give me threat. How do you give me threat? Well, at any time, you can buy dice to roll by giving me a threat. So if it's an impossible shot that needs 3 successes and you only have 2 dice and you want to ensure it, you're like, I'm buying a threat from the DM. You're going to give me a threat, which is more dice to use against you later, so that you can make those impossible things.
So you cache that threat till later, and then that can make things worse for us in certain encounters or something?
That I can just use it like you can use momentum. Basically,
Okay.
I can cash it in to make your lives more miserable. Okay. So by you accomplishing daring things, you also increase the difficulty of the game. It's sort of this dramatic thing. Have I lost anyone yet?
I'm sure we'll figure it out as we go.
I'm pretty much done. That's the 80s. That's the general gist. There's other stuff. There's damage that things do, but that's the general basics. All right. We're at the end of the session. We'll also go over how it's not experience points in this game, but there are milestones. In case we ever play again, we have to make sure to set aside about 10 minutes to wrap up our show.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's about it, guys. Just now it's time for my excuses. I got this on Monday. I wanted to thank the person who gifted it to me for Christmas. It was a listener. I know he's a doctor. I just forgot the name off the top of my head.
Dr.
Jerry Tolbert is his name.
Dr. Jerry Tolbert. It was like, here, I'm giving you this as a gift, and I got super excited. And basically, Monday I started reading the book. So I still don't have all the rules. If you have corrections for us or something, let us know. I'm happy to take that feedback.
No. Don't let us know. We're having fun with this today. This is our first time through, and we don't know how to ride this bike.
Yeah, we don't know how to ride
So
this
no
thing.
corrections
Exactly.
yet.
And I've watched plenty of Star Trek episodes. I am bound to get science and engineering terms and even if you're very lore, has to be correct thing, you might not want to listen. I'm sure we're going to bungle many things. We're just having fun here. So
cool.
There you go. But anyways, that's it. Without further ado, I think I'm done.
All right, we're going to start this off with a little bit of panache. Everybody sit back and enjoy the introduction to your weekly episode of a Star Trek show that will never exist. And we're going to start that now. And props to Bo for making this rad intro. So here you go. Enjoy. Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Ottawa, its continuing mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. Shit, I messed this part up. Hold on. Okay,
right,
here you go. We're all kind of winging it here.
Everyone picture a Galaxy-class starship traveling warp speed through space.
Yep.
And you hear the following.
Here's what you hear. Captain's log, stardate 48579.4. Our current orders are to escort Dr. Tilda McGovern, a renowned xenobiologist, and her team of scientists to the planet of Ophion 4. The planet is a Class M planet. However, deep-range scans have been unable to penetrate the thick cloud cover. What is of interest are the unique biological readings coming from the planet. There is not an indication of warp signatures, radio, or anything suggesting that a pre-warp civilization inhabits the surface. The Ottawa is being sent to investigate. Beep!
Okay. Well done. All right, now we don't have to keep it so formal in terms of playing and things like that. We have to introduce our characters and everything. So we start our game session with our captain in his captain's quarters, looking at his computer console. Do you want to describe what you're the captain?
I'm sitting in there. So picture dude sitting there looking pretty cool, like got his arm up on his armchair there, just kind of leaning into the screen. You hear sounds like this. Just me checking out stuff, looking up things. My name is Captain Greg Spacer. Yeah, that's right, Greg Spacer. I am a human betazoid half-breed or combo. What do you call it? I'm a hybrid, I guess, of those two things. And small, tiny little side note, I have thought since early TNG that there should be a captain who comes in kind of Deanna Troi style and has both human characteristics and betazoid characteristics, because a captain who can discern people's intentions, feelings, thoughts, all that stuff seems like it'd be really helpful in the captain's chair. So that was my thinking there. Kind of a cocky dude, very commandeering. If you see him, you'd be like, oh, it's intimidating, and not mean or angry, but just someone who looks like he commands the room. And yeah, I went to Starfleet
Very
for all of that.
Very important question about the captain. What kind of hair does he have?
He has hair that is strong and immovable, but also parted very sharply on the left side of his head and combed this direction. But it's wavy and full, but down back here and in the rear and in the side and stuff, very tight, very, very close. Very regulation sort of Starfleet ambition going on there with his hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he have any other features like piercings or scars?
No piercings. He does have a scar. He was involved in an accident at a young age, and that accident. Oh, it's not on my sheet, but I detailed it. Where is it? Oh, it doesn't export it with that PDF. Anyway, it describes an accident that I was in that was pretty gnarly. Oh, teleporter accident. And as I recall, the way I chose to deal with it with my stats was I learned, instead of being afraid of it, kind of Dr. McCoy style, and hating transporters, I instead decided to learn more about it and kind of become an expert in the field of transporter technology. So it's like a little side focus of mine. Not one of my big focuses, but it's part of that. I also am really into small craft, small ships. I like shuttlecrafts and smaller crew type ships, that sort of thing. Super into that. And I like green ladies, kind of a Kirk trait. Really like them green alien ladies. So if we come across any of those, I'm not saying we will, but
All right. Well, there's plenty of adventure to be had. Let's save some of it. I just wanted a physical description, but we're getting the full backstory. It's all good.
All right.
It's all good.
All right. Cool.
So as you ruminate on yourself, pondering your own qualities in history, your communicator rings.
Captain the Spacer here.
Well, you hear Cobot to Captain.
Cobot, what the hell's going on?
Captain, we are approaching the what did I call it? The Ophion system.
The Ophion system. How much
you
time?
Requested to in about 1 hour. You requested that we form a briefing before reaching the system.
Let's do it.
I would like to know who should be in attendance.
Let's get them all in there. We need everybody, including First Officer Akeu Adoyo, Chief Engineer Marky Morrow Antirva, Chief Science Officer, and also our Chief Medical Officer, if you please. I don't think we need... you know what? Bring Ship's Counselor, why not? But I'll be there, so who knows if we need him. And what else? Who else do we think we should have? Just, all the usuals. Get them in the room. I'll be ready for you. Just get that going. Lock it in.
Very well. I'll see it done. Cobot out.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So you understand this to mean this is so let's provide some context just also about what's going on for you. You are the new captain aboard the USS Ottawa, a brand new Galaxy class. That's like the Enterprise, Galaxy or Voyager, Galaxy class starship. And this is your first mission.
And this is that era for the fans listening. We're doing this during the TNG Voyager style era, right?
It's sometime after TNG.
Okay.
So maybe somewhere in the middle of Voyager, whenever that was occurring. I'm not great on the dates, but it's TNG era.
Sure.
Yeah, so this is a new ship, and this is your first assignment as captain. You've been, a first officer for a long time, so this is being a captain. This is your very first mission. Okay. Now, so for this first mission, sorry, what was I going to say? I can't remember. But anyways, yes, that's the context I want to provide. So the way the game is structured is that you can, of course, explore and just do whatever, and we'll do that. But it is a number of scenes structured sort of back to back as we progress. So we're only focusing right now that you're using one character, but it's important for everyone to know that it is possible for certain characters to not be part of scenes. But of course, if you want Kyle and Kristen, you should try and find a way to shoehorn them in, even though they might not belong, because we're not doing the mechanic for supporting characters, where when people play this game, the doctor might be in the medical bay, and you might still want to participate in the game, so you play a supporting character like the helmsman or the tactician or something.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, you can't really think of it as a party. You have to think of it as a ship that you're all working on. All right. So you wanted Adoya and Tivera.
For sure.
Dr. Lafferty, Cobot will be there. Let's see who else is gonna. I'm just gonna get the list of the attendants.
You can leave. You can leave transporter room. Ensign Ben Kenobi down where he is. He does not need to come out of there. That guy can bite me. He can stay there. Yeah.
Sure. All right. Perfect. And let's see. All right. Perfect. Let's go. All right. So, is there anything else you'd like to do in your captain's room before making your way to the mission briefing?
I would look longingly into my little space window as the stars fly by and just think, this is my chance to shine. Finally, all those naysayers at Starfleet will bow to my greatness as the great captain. They'll utter the name Kirk, Picard, Janeway, and then Spacer, all in the same the same reverence one day. That's what I'll think as I gaze out there, and then I'll make my way to the door and get out.
Perfect. So you walk through the bridge, and you see everyone hard at work, and you make your way to the turbo lift. Take the turbo lift to the mission briefing room. Now, the mission briefing room looks like you would picture it on the Enterprise. It is a boardroom table where people sit, and as you enter the mission briefing room, all of the officers stand up from the table, as well as the scientific envoy. And I'm going to take some time to describe everyone who's there. So the first person you notice is there is your first officer, Commander Ikeyo Adoyo. She is she's a human female from Earth. She's Kenyan in origin. You have your chief engineer, and this, Kyle, I'll stop to just let you describe your character and his name.
I'm Mark Emeros. I look a lot like the brawny towel guy. Got a chin for days. My uniform is rolled up just to above my elbow, showing off my massive arms.
Nice.
Come from Earth. Like a bit of farming on the side. This is my third ship. The Fate 465, as everyone knows, exploded, and the USS Principal also exploded. I have this makes everyone a little nervous to see me on the bridge and helping out, but I'm excited for the mission.
Oh, you've got a rocky track record, eh?
Yeah.
All right, and then right next to the chief engineer, we can go with engineer or Chief Antivera as what we call you, Kyle.
I like to go by Maros.
All right, Chief Maros or just Maros? What are people formally going to call you, even if you don't like it?
Oh, formally, yeah, they would call me Antivera, but I prefer to be called Maros.
Okay, perfect. You may have to correct some people as we go along on this. It's a new ship, and you're all getting acquainted with one another. Next to Chief or Maros is the Chief Medical Officer. Kristen, would you like to introduce us to your character?
Delaris Stadi. I've been in the medical field for quite some time. Just joined Starfleet because it felt like it. Life was getting bored. People don't really like me because I can tell them what they're feeling. Betazoid after all. You can sense, like right now, you can sense some anxiousness in the room.
It's from the Lower
The
East Side
captain,
of
he rides
Beta.
us.
Yeah.
Boston Betazoid.
Yeah.
We'll see
All
how
right.
it holds.
Yeah, you've set yourself a high bar. All right, next to the medical officer, Dr. Staddy, is the ship's counselor, which you asked to be there, Dr. Penrose Lafferty. It's an African-American human male. So think Deanna Troy's role. Lieutenant Cobot, a Romulan male, is there as well. And then there's also the security chief, Lieutenant Commander Flex Reynolds, present as.
Flex Reynolds.
And then,
Good name.
Amazing.
and then there's the science envoy that's along with you, Dr. Tilda McGovern, who's wearing not a Starfleet uniform, but wearing a white coat. And then her assistants, Dr. David Still and Dr. Aryan Sandoval.
So in Star Trek terms, it'd be people we've seen in other TV shows, and we just can't recollect their name. But here they are guest starring for this episode of Star Trek.
That's right.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. So, Captain Spacer, you walk into the room, and how do you address it?
You-
All right. Hang on a
Is there a
second.
cat?
I'm cat sitting, and the cat
Oh!
has been quiet all day, and all of a sudden he's going nuts. So hopefully he goes away in a second. If not, I might have to remove him.
It's
That's
that
nice of you.
cat. I keep him in the med bay, but he wanted to join the
Yeah,
meeting
that's
today.
stupid.
No, you guys
cat.
don't hear the cat, but doctors.
No, there's a cat. You can sense it.
Okay, so you can sense the cat voice, and but Captain Spacer, you hear a cat meowing. You hear a cat meowing as you enter the briefing room.
All right. I will pause, kind of twist up my eye a little bit, look around, and remember some stories I read about Lieutenant Commander Data and his time on the Enterprise and his love of his cat. And then I won't think anything more about that as I move forward.
Yeah, and as you say that, I forgot to describe one person present. Your chief science officer, Lieutenant Commander Tome, who is an android that looks like Data.
Oh, nice. He's so he's that model ish, like he looks like.
Yes.
him? Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'll come in and say, thank you for all. Thank you all for being here. Please sit. Everybody sit down.
All right.
I'll pull up a chair, sit down, and I'll get into it kind of Rikery, just kind of swing into there. And again, I like to sit with my fist on the armrest and up kind of at a right angle. Gives me an air of, kind of a dickhead kind of thing going on. And I'll say, all right, you're probably all wondering why I brought us here. We should probably get right down to the mission. And then I'll explain what we're going to do next, which I guess is we got to let Tilda talk. So I'll say, Dr. McGovern, if you could explain your reasons for this mission and what we can all do to help make it all happen.
Thank you, Captain Spacer. And she gets up from her desk. If you draw your attention to the screen, please. Computer, play project file 274D. And so some screenshots of a topographical map of the surface of Ophion 4 show. She says, first off, I want to thank Starfleet for allowing this scientific mission to happen. We're going to provide you with some rudimentary details about what we expect to be encountering once we reach Ophion 4. This planet came of interest to our scientific unit when we discovered that it had signs of life that were very unusual. Now, Ophion 4 is a Class M planet, and thus we'd expect perhaps to see a pre-warp civilization or something prehistoric. Instead, our readings were most curious. It seemed rich with flora. However, we also detected signs of sentient life, but the patterns, as you can see here, and she points out to the screen, do not resemble any of a humanoid species that we've encountered before. We're not entirely certain what we'll expect to find there, and it's been a matter of some curiosity to us. Once we reach Ophion 4, we would like to beam aboard the surface and study what we find there. And then Lieutenant Lieutenant Cobot, or no, sorry, your first officer speaks up and says, "We will be arriving in about an hour. Captain, you should consider who to send on an away team."
Well, along with the good doctor and her, her assistant, Dr. Stills and Dr. Aaron Sandoval, I assume they need to go.
Dr. Aryan Sandoval, please.
Oh, doctor, sorry. You need to, I assume, accompany Dr. McGovern on this mission, correct?
That's correct. My assistants will be accompanying me to help in the study of what we find there.
Well, then I would really like to have my chief engineer and my chief medical officer come with us for any sort of engineering and or medical needs we may run into. And
okay.
Perhaps along with that, let's see, who do I want to take?
So Dr. Staddy is coming.
Let's take the German and the robots. I want to take Dr. Gunther Schubert.
Okay.
I am tactical. I'm coming with you. I want him to come.
Hang on. Just give me a second here.
I want him, and I want
right,
the
so
robot.
We're taking Dr. Staddy. We're taking Chief Antivera.
Yeah.
We'll have to start calling you Morrow. I'm just getting used to how we have to do all this nomenclature. And you wanted to bring the tactical.
Yeah, the German tactical Gunter guy. He's coming. Okay. I want a kind of a freak show element. I hope he's it.
Okay, Lieutenant Commander Tome speaks up and says, "Captain, may I inquire as to why you are bringing the tactical person and not the science officer?"
I don't know if I'd question the captain's orders if I were you.
I sense that she senses that's not a bad idea.
We're sensing some things here, and you need to listen.
By the way, she's full.
Intend to offend.
She's full Betazoid, right? Like full breed. Okay.
Yeah, so you guys are both Betazoids.
So her
you
sensitivity.
Guys could, I think, speak telepathically to each other.
We might be able to, but her sensitivity is going to be higher than mine because they always portrayed true Betazoid or Beta Z citizens as being more sensitive to it than like Troy, who was kind of half there. So I'm kind of half there, but it'll be good to have her there. All right. Well, I'll say you make a good point. Let's bring Chief. Who is it? Chief Science Officer Tome with us.
Yeah, Tome. That's your data.
Okay. In addition, we'll take Gunter and Tome. Big party going. Unless the DM wants me not to take so many people with us. It's totally up to you.
No, it's not me that... I don't care who you take, but the characters may. This is Starfleet, right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
right.
So we'll take Tome. We'll take Schubert.
Your number one, Adoyo, says, "It is not customary for the captain to go on an away team. Are you sure you wish to embark upon this mission, Captain Spacer?"
It's my first mission. If you're asking me if I'll just sit in my office and watch this happen, you've got me wrong. I intend to get my hands dirty and show my crew and the people aboard this ship and those back home at Starfleet what I'm made of. So the answer is yes, I am going on this mission.
Understood. Yes, Captain. And so Dr. McGovern looks around and says, "Well, that's all I have to say. Are there any questions about the mission? If not, we can begin preparations."
Is there anything about this planet we need to be prepared for? Any strange atmospheric anomalies? Anything about the air we need to breathe? We show it Class M, but is there any surprises you're aware of that we don't know about?
So Tome speaks up and says, "I have done some deep scans of the system surface. It is covered in a dense cloud of water and hydrogen and water." "It is difficult for our sensors to penetrate inside the planet's surface, so we do not know what to expect. However, it is a Class M planet, the atmosphere is breathable, and we should be relatively safe."
And as far as who might meet us down there, any sort of wildlife or indigenous folk or anything we should be prepared for, I assume we're bringing weapons, phasers.
Dr. McGovern says, I can't speak to the security concerns. However, it might be a good idea to expect that there will be some sort of life form present, and that may provide some danger, although we feel the probability of that is low. We are dealing with plant life here.
Well, everybody bring your phasers, put them on stun for now. And I think we'll
Nobody-
adjourn.
Everyone react just okay, yes. Mm-hmm.
Ready for whatever, man. All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you all very much. Bye. And then I'll get up and leave.
Okay,
All right.
perfect. So there's now an hour until arrival. We can just skip ahead to the next scene of arrival, but is there anything else anyone wants to do before we arrive at Ophion 4?
Delara's gonna pick up the cat she had hiding under her seat and carry it back to the medical bay.
I'll go back to my office and do a quick call, a message over hyperspace, or however they call that. I forget what they call it in the thing.
Subspace communications.
Yes, to my daughter, who is currently studying science at the academy, and let her know that I'm well, that we're about to embark on this mission. Don't worry about me. Everything will be fine. It's kind of a voicemail style thing that I'm doing. I'm not talking to her directly. I do this because her mother died of some kind of weird space virus some years before, and so she's really the only family I have. So
Space virus.
the space virus got her. So I'm just letting her know I'm good, I'm okay. I'll call you when I'm done. That kind of stuff. I would do that.
Okay, great. And,
I'm gonna go check out
Morrow's-
the transporter and give it a once over to make sure.
Make sure
this-
it's okay.
Yeah, this bird can fly.
Okay, well, we have our first task check then. This is a task, I believe. And so how do we do this? Well, this is a good test run for tasks, so like a tutorial level. So good call. So if I'm looking at your character sheet, Antivera, this would be definitely involving engineering, right? And if you're repairing it, I believe that's going to be control, I think.
Sweet.
Right? You're effectuate, or let's go with is it insight? Are you looking for errors, or you're more examining, right? So I think insight makes more sense. So insight and engineering, your insight's 7 and your engineering's 4, so that gives you 13 or under. The difficulty of this task is 0, so you can roll 2 d20s, and you're trying to roll under.
All right.
Roll under. Oh, under 20?
Under his target of 13.
Oh,
I
got
believe.
it. Okay.
I got an 18 and a 3.
Okay. So because it's difficulty 0, you are bound to succeed no matter what. However, you gain a momentum from this. So you can use the momentum now to effectuate your scan even better, or you can store the momentum for use later.
Is effectuate a word? I like that word, if it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is?
Effectuate.
Okay. I don't know why
Effectuating
I've never heard
repairs.
it before. I like it.
I'll store it
It's up
for
to-
later.
All right. So when you store it, it's for everyone. So the party now has 1 momentum. There's a cap on stored momentum of 6, by the way. All right. So you check the transporter room for repairs, and Ensign Kenobi watches you work while you do this, and the transporter room seems to be in good function.
I hear that cat again.
Okay. Do I need to? do I
No,
need to
you're
take a
fine.
minute to-
He's totally fine. He's not that loud.
He's so chatty right now. It's insane.
It's
When
actually
I'm
just
not
kinda
recording a podcast, he was silent. He was hiding. He's been
Yeah.
hiding all day.
Yeah, cats are weird that way. They know how to screw with us. Okay. Sorry, did you ask someone a question?
No. Morrow's was
Oh,
performing repairs. So you've checked the transporter room while Kenobi watched you. Ensign Kenobi watches you, and there are no errors to report. Everything's in fine working condition.
Excellent.
All right, perfect. Okay, so you're in your captain's quarters again, right, Captain Spacer?
I sure am.
All right, so as an hour goes by, you finish recording your message. You receive a message on your communicator
Yeah.
from Lieutenant Seng.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Seng to Captain.
Yes, Commander Singh.
Lieutenant
Lieutenant
She's the
Singh.
helmsman.
Lieutenant Singh. Thank you. What can I do for you? What's going on?
We will be approaching Ophion 4 in moments. You're requested upon the bridge.
I'll make my way out now. Thank you very much. And I'll hang up on that. And I'll head out to the bridge, which is just adjacent to my little ready room anyway.
That's right.
We'll open the door, hop out there, and we're good.
So you open up into the bridge, and on the bridge you see the following characters. So I think Morrow, you'll be there at your engineering station up on the bridge. Your first officer, Commander Adoyo, is there. Science Officer Tome is there as well. The Communications Officer, Kobot, is in the communications space. You have a helmsman, Lieutenant Hayun Seng. She's a Chinese Starfleet female who's piloting the ship. You have your security chief, Lieutenant Commander Flex Reynolds, a large Canadian man on sort of the back area where Worf might stand typically in Enterprise. You also have Lieutenant Gunther Schubert on tactical as well there. So you approach the captain and you hear Adoyo say, "Captain on the bridge," and everyone who can stand up, the helmsmen don't do, and then they get back to work. Once
I'll
you
say, "As you were," and I'll walk in and sit down in my traditional arm up in the 90-degree angle way on my chair.
All right, and so the Lieutenant Seng takes the ship out of warp, and the view screen, which is displaying it, shows a Earth-like planet, but with heavy, heavy, heavy cloud cover, pretty much all white and gray and blue for the most part, on the view screen before you.
Okay.
Your orders, Captain.
Quick sensor sweep. Everything look good?
Okay, so you're going to have someone do a sensor sweep for you.
Yep.
But you've given a command. So as captain, what you can do is you can enable others to do things by ordering them to do it, giving them an additional dice to roll their skill check with. So they're going to roll their own dice for the scan, but you're going to help them by rolling one of yours. And the scan is going to be... let's see, it's going to be command. You have a command thing, so it's going to be a command.
Oh, right.
And yeah, because you're giving a command, let's do command and presence because you're helping with that. And then this person will do their...
Okay, so when it says I have a command in disciplines of command of 5, what does that actually do to the roll I'm about to do?
It sets your target for what you have to roll under. So higher is better because you're trying to roll under. So your presence is 10 and your command is 5. That means you have to roll under 15 on 2 d20s.
D20s. Okay, I'm going to roll them right now. Here goes.
Or, sorry, 1. You only roll 1 because you're giving command. I'm rolling 2 d20s for you.
Oh, okay.
Supporting character.
Gotcha. I rolled a 17.
Okay, so that's a whiff.
Damn
it's
it.
higher than your target number.
Oh, no, wait. I screwed up.
But what's your other dice?
I hit it
There's 2
twice.
dice.
I hit it twice because you were saying 2 and I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
My
What's your
first
other
roll
dice?
was a 12.
Okay, perfect.
Is that
All right,
good?
great.
That's better to
12
be
is
under.
good. Yeah, that's
Okay.
a success. You've scored a success for this.
All right.
And as well as she scored 1 success as well. Your helmsman did. Your science officer's doing the scan, so Tome is. That means you can store this one as momentum, or you can use it now to further your scan results.
Store it for momentum.
Okay, your party now has 2 momentum.
I'm going to turtle up on the momentum a little bit.
Okay. Lieutenant Commander Toe says, I'm showing no signs of any other ships in the vicinity. The planet is a Class M planet, breathable atmosphere, as Dr. McGovern told us in the briefing.
I'll swivel around, look at Dr. McGovern with a wry smile and say, that seemed good enough for you, Doctor? You ready to depart?
Yes, I'm ready to get underway. And she immediately walks towards the turbo lift.
Sweet. All right, everyone. You know who you are. To the turbo lift and off to transport room. Kenobi Jr.
And Lieutenant Kobot, the Romulan there, gets on the intercom and starts communicating to the other away team members that they're ready to transport. The captain's ready for them to transport. So then we move along. Everyone gets their gear and makes their way to the transport room. You are now, Lieutenant. Oh my God, remembering everyone's new names. Spatty, Dr. Spatty. Morrow's Captain Spacer. You're all in the transport room with Dr. McGovern, Dr. Sandoval, and Dr. Stahl. Ready to beam down. Six to beam down.
All right, we're on the pad. I'll look at Kenobi over there, who we won't get into why, but the Captain Spacer does not like Ben Kenobi at all. He's not a fan. He just needs to do his basic job, get it done. That's as good as we're going to get with that guy. Very much a kind of a shut up Wesley kind of relationship with Kenobi. All right, so we're there. I'll say, all right, Mr. Kenobi, this many. How many of us are there?
There's 6.
6 to beam down.
All right, and he waits for you to say the command.
Engage.
No.
It's
it's energized, right?
energized.
Or you can make up your own. Yeah. But,
okay, wait. Get her done, I'll say.
and he goes, "Grrr," and the transporter goes.
All right, we're out of there.
All right, and the 6 of you beam down to the surface of Ophion 4. Immediately, you see a landscape of mountainous rocks, tinged somewhat purple, as well as clouds in the sky. You can't see sun or anywhere up into the sky. It's very cloudy and also purple. There's a purple sort of hue to it. But what's most striking about this mountainous terrain is that covered everywhere are these long stalks of green vine, very thick, like big, these green vines running like conduits everywhere, and you sort of beam down to an area where they aren't. So there's this sort of clear, universal set like area where you've just beamed down clearly, but the vines are everywhere. And oh my God, Snoopy!
His name is Snoopy.
Snoopy,
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
They put food out for you. Eat. All right. There are
Snoopy,
vines.
please.
There are vines everywhere. Okay, I think he's breaking my concentration is the problem. Every time I think a thought, a meow enters into it, and the thought explodes into a million pieces.
Yeah.
All right. On the break, I'll take care of it. So there are vines everywhere, and where you see vines, you see like there's these sort of large, not tulip-like, but these 4 leaves that sort of sprout from various parts of the vines. But the vines are as far as the eye can see. It's like the planet's surface is covered in this large vine. Like if you think of a castle wall and how vines might wrap up, it's like the planet is that castle wall, and there's just vines upon vines everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. And every so often in the vine, you see these little blue crystal, like gem-like things attached into the vine. Dr. McGovern and her 2 assistants get to work right away, opening up containers filled with scientific equipment and start conducting scans.
The captain would look at Chief Science Officer Tome and ask Lieutenant Commander Tome for a scan of those gems or those stones, if you can.
All right, so Lieutenant Commander Tome goes to scan them. Since you provided him with the command, you can roll an assistance dice.
Okay, here we go.
For scanning would be science and reason.
Science and reason combined are. Hold on. Where's reason?
Science is 3, reason is 7, so
Okay,
10.
so
10 or
10.
under.
So I got a
You roll
7.
1 dice this time.
I
Yeah.
got a 7 this time.
Okay. All right. Perfect. You can store it as a momentum, or you can use it to further the result.
In this case, let's use it to further the result.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So Lieutenant Commander Tome scans and says, "Fascinating. It would seem that this plant life covers over 80% of the landmass of this planet. And it would also seem as though this is made of plant-like biological material that we have not encountered before." And
Mr. Tome, is it possible to extract a sample and take it with us?
I will leave that to Dr. McGovern. That's what they are here for. Perhaps she can provide you with a sample.
That's a good point.
I will continue my scans and report back any findings, Captain Spacer.
Good. Very, very well, Lieutenant Commander Tome.
All right. So Tome walks off and is still holding his tricorder out and scanning around. Marrow, Dr. Spatty, is there anything that you'd like to do upon the surface?
I made some unidentified biological mess this morning. And she'll elbow Morrow.
Morrow's unmoved by the elbow. He takes an extremely thick stance. His 6'5", well-built physiology, and he's kind of scanning out around. He sort of hunkered down with his phaser out for stun.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, he's like ready. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's not a bad thing. It is a very intimidating view. So Dr. McGovern comes to you, Captain Spacer, and to the rest of the away team and says, "We will need to be here sometime, I should think. I heard you mention to Lieutenant Commander Tome that you would like a sample."
I'd like a sample of this, and I would point to the an example of the stone.
Of the stone.
Or
the gemstone.
The gemstone stuff, yeah. Do you have a take on it now, Doctor? What do you think? What do you suppose this material is?
Well, I've done some preliminary scans, and she shows you her tricorder, and what I've found in the deep tissue is fascinating. Have a look here, everyone. And she points to her tricorder, shows that everyone says, as you can see inside this plant material, not only are the expected fibers of plants found, but there are signs of a cardiovascular system inside the vine, as well as, if you look at these lines here, a nervous system. It's very exciting, the kind of biological life form we may have found here. I'm beyond words. I am hesitant to take a sample.
I'm sensing some hesitancy.
Yes, Dr. Spatty. I'm a bit hesitant because what if this is sentient life? It may be taken as perhaps first contact protocols might be in order, or if this is a pre-warp civilization that is more sentient than we realize, we may have to leave. What is your recommendation, Captain Spacer?
Well, you say you need additional time. What does that mean when you say this?
To understand what we are dealing with.
So, is it possible to retrieve these samples and beam back to the ship and do that? The ship's got all.
Do you give permission for me to take samples? I do not know what the Starfleet regulations might be for coming into contact with a pre-warp civilization or making first contact with one.
Well,
I don't know what I'm.
If we have not,
not sure what we are looking at here.
If we did, do you believe this to be a life form unto itself, and a sentient one at that?
We need to conduct more scans. Let me just take one deep tissue scan here. I will need the assistance of another science officer. My assistants are busy. Dr. Spotty, can you help me perform this scan?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so Dr. McGovern breaks out a tripod that has a little laser-like device at the top, and she gets out this sort of lens, this force field lens, and turns it on, and she says, "Are you familiar with this deep tissue scanning device?"
Yeah, I've used it a few times.
Okay, do you want to do the scanning, or do you want to hold the lens?
I'll scan.
Okay, so she moves up to the lens, and then there's sort of this scanner. It's like a medical scanner, but it's got these two little handles and triggers, like a gun in Halo that is mounted or something. But it does medical stuff, and it's there. And then you just sort of screen, and it's going to allow you to do deep tissue, cartography, whatever, mapping of the organism. So you'll need to make a skill check to complete this task. It's a difficulty 1. It's not an easy thing to do. And you will need to use, so Dr. Spotty, you'll need to use science as well as control. So this is a fine piece of medical equipment. You'll need to, your control is 11 and your science is 4. So you'll need to roll under 15. You get 2 dice to roll. You have to have 1 success to do this successfully.
Cool. I got a 20 and a 7.
20 and a 7. All right. So 1 is a fail, but 1 is a success. And that's what you needed to successfully perform the scan. So a laser pierces out, hits the lens, and then it fractures into several laser lights and penetrates into the vine. And then your screen becomes filled with information as it goes, and it starts mapping out cardiovascular systems inside the vine and nerves, and beep, 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 beep. And the job is successfully done. But as you do that, you hear "Oh no!" And then Dr. McGovern, a piece of the plant appears to have covered her leg and is starting to wrap its way up her leg and start to cover her immediately. And she just looks in terror as the plant begins to envelop her.
Quick, I sense fear.
Sorry, I had to be an intense moment there. You had to
That would be a commercial break time, for example. Does anyone react to her becoming enveloped inside this vine-like membrane that's sort of beginning to cover from her leg up? And she goes,
Dr. Spotty will point and be like, quick, I sense fear.
Is it based on a vine or is it a greater plant?
it appears to be a sub-vine protruding from the plant and starting to it's like still a thick vine, but it's like a sub-vine from a main vine that has this sort of end where one of the flappy leaves have covered her. It was almost like it was covered in the ground, so she would have stepped in it not knowing, and then it began it's sort of encasing her slowly as it moves up her leg.
Dealing with Jumanji level ambush predators here.
I'm going to leap forward, pull out my phaser, which is set to stun, and try to shoot the vine at the base, not her leg, but at the base to try to stop it from strangling her.
Okay, on stun?
Yeah,
on stun
not intended
right
to kill it, at least not yet. We got to see what what it'll react to.
That's a control and security. So and the difficulty of the shot, it's not far. It's going to be a 2.
Okay.
You have to roll under 13 twice.
13 twice with D20s.
So you're rolling 2 D20s, yeah.
Oh, okay, first one's a 3. Second one's a 6.
All right, so you take your phaser on stun, you go shooting it on stun.
Wait, I got that here somewhere. Here we go. That's just stun.
All right, now this is where I get shady on the rules because this is in theory a combat thing. So I just need to look up the phaser damage. Let's see how exactly this works.
I'm having way too much fun with this already. We may have to do more one-offs because I don't know why I like the world so much, but it's so dumb. Anyway.
So yeah, you fire the phaser out. Yeah, this is the combat's the part I'm hazy on. But anyways, you're gonna fire the phaser out.
Yeah.
I got to do this. I just don't want to slow down the pace of the show, but I have to understand how this works.
It's all good.
So let me. I might need a minute. You guys might need to chat or strategize or plan or whatever. Well, I look this up here. Combat.
I was trying to think what actual Star Trek characters do when the Glad trash bag came and got what's her name? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm feeling too. I feel like I should immediately start counter wrestling it.
Yeah.
And end up getting caught in it as well as part of my fault.
Yeah, because our reactions are. Now that I think about it, Star Trek people reactions are a little suspect sometimes. Like they kind of jump to conclusions, which is why I shot it. That was my thinking. I was like, well, yeah, I wouldn't ask questions. This thing's an immediate risk. It's like a clear and present danger. I got to shoot it. Yeah, Tasha Yar, that's who got killed by the bag. Thanks, chat.
All right, so can you roll a d6 for me and tell me the result?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
D6 incoming. Oh, whoa, that was wrong. Sorry. D6, a 3.
Okay, thank you. All right, the reason I ask is because I'm spoiled by D&D Beyond, where I can quickly look things up. I've got to scroll through a massive PDF.
To find stuff.
And you search for damage and you get 50 entries in the PDF, and I'm like, All right, so you hit the what did you roll on the d6?
3 is all.
Okay, so you fire your phaser at it, attempting to stun it, and it has no effect.
I will go,
and it continues to cover her. She's now covered up to her waist.
Then I would pull back quickly, turn it to kill, not vaporize, but enough to kill. There's 3 settings, right? If I have this right, there's stun, there's kill, and then there's kill and also vaporize those people. So I'll put it on the second highest level and do that.
All right. So you've had a roll. I want to make sure if Dr. Spotty or Mero wants to have an action before you get to
Oh, yeah. We're probably in some kind of turn order, right? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean, informally. It's not really combat, but yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Spotty's just going to sit down and look kind of bored.
Okay.
I will engage in wrestling the vine off my companion.
Okay. All right. So you rush forward to tear it off.
Yeah,
Alright.
just like grab whatever the end is, and assuming that's like, not that it has an eye on it, but assuming that's some sort of brain or sensory thing, I'll kind of like grab it towards me and try to unwind it from my companion.
Okay, so this is a security and fitness roll. So you have fitness of 11 and a security of 5. So you have to roll 16 or under. However, this is a difficulty 4 task, as this thing is quite strong. So you can only roll 2d20s. You can purchase more by giving me threat, or you can cash in momentum. And remember, ones count as successes. And is doing this a focus of yours? No. Okay, so that won't matter. All right.
No, but I do have a mean right hook.
Right. That's so you're trying to tear it off. I think mean right hook is for combat attacks.
Okay, that'd be if I started punching it. Okay.
Yeah. You're not doing a mean right hook right now.
Cool.
Unless you
Well,
are
I-
punching it. Yeah.
Well, there are 2 momentum in the storage,
Yeah.
so I would like to use those. Do I have to get agreement from the group for that?
No. I mean,
Oh.
it might be. That's up to you guys whether you
Yeah.
want to do agreement or just do like selfish take. Or
Interesting.
Whatever. That's
What
up
are
to
the
you
do
guys.
the rules? I mean, the rules probably say it's up to the DM, I guess. But
You can't. It's not a vote. Like whoever's the active player can use as many as they want without. You know, if the rest of the players are like, I don't want you to use it, well, the active player can choose to use it.
I like that because it seems like in a situation like this where we don't know what's happening with this vine, a character, if they're feeling the momentum, would just take it, and we'd want them to, right?
Yeah.
So Kyle, you should just do what your heart tells you.
All right. I'll say this is worse than Cabbage Night, and engage the thing in wrestling.
Okay. Perfect.
Everything's worse than Cabbage Night.
I got a 14 and a 20,
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
a
So that's one
16,
success.
and an 11.
So that's 3 successes, and you need 4.
Right. So I'll risk it with 1 threat, and then I'll give up.
Okay. The timing of this, I'm not entirely sure. I don't think you can cash in after the roll.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't think so. So you have to sort of prepare in advance. But I could be
Sure.
wrong about that. However, yes. So, well, could I? You might have an ability that allows a reroll or something like that. But that's the other thing is I'm not 100% clear. So let me look at mean right hook, not less resolute. Actually, one of the things Captain Spacer you could do is you could help him do this.
I can. I'd love to help him
And
do it.
that way you would roll one of your d20s to help. Now we have to use your fitness and security, so you have to roll a 13 or under
13 or under on
Be
2
allowed.
rolls or 1 roll?
on what you only get 1 roll.
Okay.
That's like aiding in D&D. Like it's you can help by tossing a dice in there. So you can see Morrow taking on the thing, and you could jump in and also help sort of try to shred off this.
All right, so I'll
This
get into
membrane.
the scuffle, which sounds a lot like this. Listen, grunts, feet shuffling.
God.
I'm so ready for this, dude. I've been ready all day. 10 is what I rolled.
Okay, that's a success.
Sweet.
So, so Morrow runs towards Dr. McGovern as she's getting covered in this membrane and begins ripping off pieces of the plant. It's like shredding it, and fibers are ripping everywhere. But he's having a hard time keeping up with it. And then Captain Spacer comes in and holds Dr. McGovern steady so that he can just do full rips, rip, and ripped her right off. And she's free.
Thank the Lord.
And she's like, "Oh, thank you very much. That was a close one. Oh no, Dr. Sandoval!" And you turn around and you see Dr. Sandoval's like a shape of a human encased in the membrane, sort of reaching like this behind you while you were busy in the scuffle with Dr. McGovern.
Completely entrapped in it?
He's entrapped in it.
Oh, jeez.
You have to get him out, quick, hurry! And she rushes forward with the tricorder and begins tricording, not being a combat personnel.
Well, I don't want to shoot him.
Well, Dr. Spatty, do you want to do anything? Or are you still sort of gunning the
I'm a
medical gunning?
doctor, not a wrestler. You need medical stuff, you let me know.
I used to think the most disagreeable Betazoid was Troy's mother. I have changed my mind on that. I think it's
What's
now
her name?
this character.
Luxana?
Yeah, Luxwana was.
Luxana? She's the best.
She's pretty great.
Luxana.
All right. Well, we'd want to turn around. Probably me and Kyle would turn around and attempt to free this dude as well, and work from the head down so we can get him breathing.
All right, more ripping.
Yeah, more ripping.
Kyle or Murrow, I should say.
So you're saying he's like encased in a bubble,
He's encased in like plant. It's like plant substance. It looks green and leafy, and it's like covering him up.
Something
so you can see the outline of shape, like like D&D spiders might web someone, and you see their shape and webbing.
Okay,
it's like that, but plant material. It's like this alien plant material that's covered him up in vines, and he's encased in the plant material.
All right, well, I will continue to wrestle what I've grabbed off this beast, much like you might shake a prop snake, of course, and give it a chuck away from me before I turn, still kind of hunched and thick, and run to join the saving of our next companion.
So this will be a difficulty 4. It will again use your fitness and security, so 16 is your target. You start with 2d10. Anyone helping can also roll an additional dice, and you can purchase dice for threat.
Cool. So all of us together are trying to beat a 4 with our d20s.
That's right. You need 4 successes.
Sweet. So we each have 2. So Spacer and I working together can have a chance at 4.
So Spacer's going to have 1 because one person's helping you. Now, if one of the other assistants or Dr. Spatty helps, they can make a roll as well. Although she's not helping right now.
So we need another roller then.
Yeah. So Kyle gets 2 because he's the main roller. You're assisting, so you get to roll 1.
All right. I want the German. The German. I'm going to yell at him.
He's on the ship.
Doodledorf. Oh, I thought he came with.
Oh, you mean Lieutenant Commander Tome?
Oh.
Yeah, Tome was with you.
Oh,
right.
I thought we brought them both. All right. Well, Tome, get in here. He's got combat training. The androids always do.
Tome moves in real quick and also helps to rip. All right, we got a solution. All right. Roll all your dices.
So
your
20s,
dice.
right? All 20s.
You're rolling 1d20, Scott, and you have to roll 13 or under.
This is good for this game. If we were playing D&D, I'd be screwed. I got a 6.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got a 20 and a 1.
All right, we got 2. Oh, a 1! Critical success. You get 2 successes for the 1.
Oh, sick.
So we have 3, and Tome also rolled a 13, which is good enough for him. So the 3 of you together take a piece of the plant and just shear it off. Poof. And a poof of purple, like dust comes out. And then Dr. Sandoval blinks and goes, "Oh, thank you for saving me." Oh my head is spinning. And then he walks over and he sort of sits down. Captain Spacer, your communicator goes up. Adoyo to Captain.
This is the captain. What the hell's going on?
We've received a signal of another ship entering Ophion system space. We need it on the bridge.
Whoa. Okay, well, we got a bit of a problem down here. Man, they need me on the bridge. Doctor, will you please look after dude what just got eaten by a plant?
Yeah, I'll look at him. He's feeling relieved though, so that's good.
Doctor,
go ahead.
Dr. McGovern says, takes a look at Dr. Sandoval and says, "I think we should bring him to the sick bay, Dr. Spatty. He's not looking very well."
All right.
I'll be the judge of that.
You gonna do some scans? You can do some scans or some poking around or what?
She'll do some the preliminary scans just to make sure.
Okay.
All right.
And if it's looking bad.
Preliminary scan of Dr. Sandoval. Okay. Dr. Sandoval. Where is your Dr. Status sheet? Right. That's going to be science, and I think insight is how you're going to be detecting. So what we have here is 11 for insight and 4 for medicine. So you need to roll 15 or under, and the difficulty of this is going to be 0. It's very easy to do. So you're rolling for momentum, essentially.
How many dice do I roll?
2d20.
Cool, a 20 and a 4.
A 20 and a 4. So you get 1 momentum that you can use now to further enhance the result or to store for later.
Let's use the momentum now, just to make sure.
Okay. So you conduct a thorough scan using your tricorder. all of his health systems seem to be fine. He's breathing okay. His cardiovascular system's running fine. However, you notice the presence of a foreign body of some kind in his nervous system. You're not quite sure what it is, but it seems to be spreading rapidly throughout it. He doesn't appear physically ill, but there's the presence of something in his nervous system. You will need the ship's medical deep scanners to be able to determine more. The tricorder's not able to tell you.
All right, looks like we're taking this guy in.
All right, I'll slap my chest and go, Ben Kenobi, 6 to beam up.
Okay. And Dr. McGovern before says that, wait, Captain.
Belay that order. What?
I wish to stay behind and study further. I'm not done yet down here.
Did you, damn it, woman, did you see the stuff coming out of the ground and grabbing your leg and they almost killed Yoshi or whatever his name is
I know.
over here?
I'm sensing a lot of anger and frustration and fear. We're going to need to calm that down, Captain. I will argue that she stays on the planet because we got something in this guy's nervous system. I don't know what it is. And we might need information from the planet to save his life. It's going to be, and then she'll turn to the guy. It's going to be okay. You'll be fine, kid.
Okay, but I don't. I'm not into this unless you got a service detail, a protection, security detail down here. So when I get back, I'm going to beam 2 of our best red shirts down here. And they can hang out with you.
So why can't we just leave the engineer guy? He's big.
Wait, who's that? Let me see who it is.
Morrow, it's Kyle.
Morrow. He's not funny, but he likes to fight.
I'll look at Morrow and go, what do you say? Do you want to? Can you stay and keep an eye on things here? I can send the German guy later just to give you some backup.
Permission to make use of some of my more specialty goods.
Granted. Don't do anything against the Prime Directive, but anything beyond that is fine.
All right, he puts away his phaser and pulls out a bipolar torch, which is basically like a plasma cutter, and goes.
Nice.
All right.
All right. 5 to beam up. No, however, 4 or whatever it is. I don't know what number it is.
Captain, take a deep breath. You got this. Take a deep breath. I'm sensing nervousness.
Me too.
Right.
I'm also
Everyone,
half beta. I sense it on myself. Yes. Sorry.
Everyone but Chief Morrow and Dr. McGovern and Dr. Stahl stay on the planet. So the 3 of them stay on the planet. You're going to guard them.
And the rest of us
Morrow,
beam up.
and everyone else you beam aboard.
All right, we're back on the ship.
All right. So you make your way immediately off the turbo lift to the bridge. Dr. Spatty, you are beamed directly to sickbay with Dr. Sandoval. Okay. So we're going to start with Captain Spacer first. Captain Spacer, you get onto the bridge. Captain on the bridge. And on the screen, you see that there's a ship of an unknown make and origin. It looks sort of saucer-like and has these 2 large, sort of like, almost looks like antenna, but they could be warp nacelles sort of off the top of it, going whoom, whoom, whoom. And your first officer, or your number 1, speaks to you and says, "The ship has just warped into the system as of 1 minute ago."
Open communication.
It is
I didn't mean to hit that. Open communication. That's more of a thing, and I didn't mean to play it there.
Yeah, I don't know what the sound is for it's open a hailing frequency, right?
Yeah, open a hailing frequency, I'd say.
Okay. Lieutenant Cobot says to you, "We are attempting to hail them now, sir. We've received a response."
What?
Would you like it on screen?
Yeah, so take it to the main screen, please.
All right. And so on screen, the video changes, plunk, and you see an alien species you've never seen before, wearing a black robe, and has a gray head and 2 large bug-like eyeballs and a little mouth sort of where the nose would be, and antenna. And you hear tick-a-tuck-tuck-tick-tuck-tuck-tuck-tuck-tuck-tuck-tuck.
I'd look around me and go, What's wrong with the universal translator? What the hell's going on?
Lieutenant Cobot, your communications Romulan, says, "We are attempting to we're attempting to learn the language now. It is taking the computer some time to establish a phonetic system that translates into English. 1 moment, please." And then to do that, he's going to need your assistance as he's working at the console, trying to help the computer figure that out.
Okay.
So from you, you'll need to provide do a command and presence role. You're providing your moral support, and maybe you can have a speech along with that.
All right, let's see. So let's give you... What's happening? What is that?
That's the translator overeating.
This thing is losing its mind. Okay, whatever. I'll do it in a second. I'm rolling a d20. Here you go. It's really annoying. 15?
Okay. What was your target? Sorry, command and presence is 15.
Command and presence.
Okay, so it's success. So you can store that as momentum or not because
Let's store it.
Cobot succeeded his roll. So
Yeah,
you
I'll
get
store
to
it.
keep that. All right.
Are you
you're now
keeping
up to
track of
3.
the momentum that we've stored? You have all that.
I am. I'm writing it down. Yeah,
Okay.
you're up to 1 momentum currently.
Okay.
All right. So Lieutenant Cobot says, "Okay, I believe it should be functioning. 1 moment." And then the tick-tock, tick-tock becomes, "Greetings. I am Queely. We are of the Kulon, and we are in need of emergency assistance. We mean you no harm."
Captain Greg Spacer of the Starship Ottawa. We can offer assistance, but need to know more about the problem.
"It is pleasing to meet you, Captain Spacer." So who should do this? Sorry, hang on.
Who should do this?
Your security chief, Lieutenant Flex Reynolds, says, "Hey, Commander, I did a scan of the ship, and it looks like if they had shieldings, it's down, and there's a broken port nacelle there. All signs point to the ship may have been under attack."
Alien being. What was his name? Did he tell us his name?
Queely.
Queely. Mr. Queely. We detect we detect some problems over there. It looks like stuff we could probably assist with. Would you be willing to accept our assistance today?
"Yes, we have been attacked. We require assistance from the assailants.
Who
We do
attacked
not
you?
believe that we have lost them.
Who attacked you? Do you know?
We do not know. We did not provoke an attack. We were just attacked."
Are they still there? Or
Then
here?
your tactical Gunter Schubert speaks up and says, "Commander, I have done a deep space scan and I found that there is a tachyon pulse out there, but no warp signature." My German is terrible.
Find that ship, I'll say to Gunter. Or whatever his name is.
"Performing the scan now." And so do your command and presence roll to give him an assist with
Okay,
your
here we
order.
go. Command and presence. Good lord. Whoops. Shit. Hold on. Clear it. Don't save the roll. Thank you. There we go.
So 15 or under on a d20.
Ooh, 15 exactly.
All right. You want to keep it to increase the results? Use it now or keep it as momentum?
Now, so this is where I get a little confused about this. Because I rolled so close to the limit, this would
It's
be
fine.
a
15
case.
is a pass.
So it's a binary pass. I don't need to. I can't help it. If I do more momentum, it's not going to really do me any good here, right?
It might.
What would it do?
Like so momentum spending now increases the result. So if something does damage, it would do more damage.
Right,
because
but in
you're
this
spending
case,
momentum.
I'm just.
For scanning, maybe not, but you don't know. I'll tell you if it's not going to be worth anything. I'll just tell you it's not worth it to keep it as momentum.
And you're
I'm not telling you that.
But you're not saying that now.
I'm saying that. I'm saying you can spend it now for better results.
I'm going to spend it now for better results.
Okay, perfect. All right, so you spend it. I have completed my deep space scans, and I found that there's something out there, Captain. There was a warp signature that emerged and then it vanished, and I can't find the source. We may not be alone.
All right, keep scans active and watch for whatever the hell that ship is while we try to take care of this. I need full phaser array and photon torpedoes ready to go at the sign of any aggression from anybody.
All right, and then all right, so we're gonna pause the scene here as everyone gets to work obeying your command. We're gonna go to Dr. Spatty. You've just beamed into the sick bay with Dr. Sandoval. He's lying on the bed, and you're standing above the bed, and you have attendants present with you, your usual medical officers along with you. You have Tracy, Lieutenant Tracy, and you have Officer Ming with you in the room with you.
Tracy Ming, I need you to do studies on things that attack the nervous system. I'm gonna scan this thing some more.
All right, so now they have the medical bed where they put the sort of thing over top. You also have like these little things. I don't know what the words are for any of this. You can like scan deeper in the mind, like put these little diodes on them and take a look on a medical device. So you're gonna do a scan. So let's go with your medicine and insight. Okay.
A 9 and a 3.
Okay, perfect. And I didn't declare the difficulty. Okay, so I'm gonna let that slide because that's my bad. I should have declared the difficulty. You're successful in the scan. You scan the central nervous system and find that there is a foreign neurotransmitter circulating throughout the body. It's unclear what it is. It's something you've never seen before, but that seems to a mutation that seems to have adapted itself into Dr. Sandoval's nervous system, and appears to be functioning. The body doesn't appear to be rejecting it. Like Dr. Sandoval looks dizzy, but hasn't reported any major symptoms.
All right, I need some information on how we kill cancers, because this thing doesn't belong in the body, but we probably need to kill it.
Dr. Tracy says, "Should I perhaps take his temperature?"
Yeah, get all the basic data we can.
Okay, so Lieutenant Tracy goes up and begins taking her temperature, and she reports back. She says, "His temperature is fine. He seems perfectly healthy, Dr. Spotty."
Don't tell me if he's perfectly healthy or not. You do what I say. Now look up cancers, look up parasites, anything you can find.
Okay, perfect. So you begin looking. Everyone begins researching what they can figure out what this might be. All right. Let's make a roll for that research. So that is going to be again. Let's go with science, and let's go with reason. So 15 or under. The difficulty for this is going to be a 5.
So that means I roll 5 dice?
And you roll 2 dice. You have to get 5 successes. So you'll have to either cash in momentum, give me threat, or maybe it's not going to work out because it's very difficult. Because this is an unknown biological thing that you're encountering. So looking up known advice is probably not going to yield results. But you may have a breakthrough of some kind. So there is a chance you could succeed at it.
All right, let's give you threat. Let's try that out.
Okay, so you're going to give me 3 threat? How many threat do you want to give me?
Let's do
Oh,
3.
wait. I forgot to actually... Hang on. I forgot one of the rules about buying threat. The first dice costs 1, the second dice costs 2, the third dice costs 3. So to get 3 dice, you're going to be giving me 5 threat. 6 threat, sorry. 6 threat.
Oh, that's a lot of threat then.
Yeah.
Then let's skip it. It's not...
Okay. Well, you do the work. You can do the work and fail the check and still not be,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not able to determine what this is. You don't know what this is.
Cool. In that case, she's going to start trying... she's going to shock him a little bit. Just a little electric shock.
Give him electric shock? Okay. Let's do a medicine and control. So 15 or under. Difficulty 0 to shock him.
Bringing out the old methods there. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
5 and a 7.
Okay, so it's a success. You don't need them, so you can store them as momentum, or you can use it to make the shock even stronger.
Well, let's store him as momentum. We don't need this
Okay.
to be a strong shock. We're just trying to see if there's a reaction.
All right, you're up to 3 momentum as a party. You shock him, and he goes, "Doctor, what are you doing?
You
That
quiet.
did not feel pleasant."
I know I'm sensing a lot of discomfort, but it's okay. You're going to be okay, kid. Now shut up.
Okay.
As she
All
looks
right.
back at the screens to see if there was any response.
Perfect. Okay. We now go back to Morrow, who's on the surface. Morrow, nothing much of event has happened down here. So McGovern continues doing her work, and there's no sort of new things. But is there anything you wanted to do while this was occurring, or are you still standing guard?
Yeah, I'll stand guard. I'll be looking around. I have my little cutting torch engineering tool out in case any plants get closer. Maybe I can cauterize the ends or burn them off. So I'm very, very aware of the zone around us.
Mommy.
Now that's okay. I had a cat meowing. You can talk
you
all
have
you
a
want.
kid meow or a kid mommying. It's fine.
Yeah. So now Morrow, Captain Spacer did promise to send 2 red shirts down, but nothing's shown up. You may wish to communicate with him on this issue, or just leave it alone.
I'd have done it by now, but I got up to the frickin' bridge and there was already a alien distress call. I haven't had time.
Yeah, that's fine, but we'll decide if Marrow wants to deal with it or not.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give my badge a slap and call up to the captain.
All right, say Marrow to Captain.
And Marrow to captain.
I'd go bitty bit. Captain there, what's oh shit, I was supposed to send you people. Sorry, hang on a second.
Requesting the backup you
yeah, my
suggested.
bad. It got weird up here, but I'll send 2 right now. It's 2 of our best security detail. Captain Spacer out. Bleep, and I get off the call.
Okay.
And then I will tell.
You could just send. You have a crew of like hundreds, so you could just send 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell Gunter to do it because he's in charge of security.
Well, Gunter's your tactical helmsman, like tactical guy. So you need him on the cover.
Oh, so he's not my security chief.
Your security chief is Flex Reynolds. Flex Reynolds is on the ship. You can just tell Flex to take care of it.
I will tell Flex to take care of it. I'm delegating to Flex.
Oh, I'm on it, Captain. Yes, sir.
Sweet.
And
Thank you.
Flex puts it in order on his ship and on his console, and Marrows, you see 2 red shirts teletransport in next to you.
Okay. There you go.
Okay, perfect. Back to you, Captain Spacer. So Queely's on the screen with you.
Yeah.
And Lieutenant Schubert has just told you about traces of warp signature, but no ship.
Right. Okay.
Now he's scanning to see if he can't find something. And then just as you're deciding what to do with the Kulon, with the Kulon, you see decloaking off the right side of the ship a bird of prey.
Uh-huh. Oh no.
Appears, and with that we'll go to the break.
Oh wait, that's us warping out of there. Never mind. The opposite of that. They just showed up. Okay, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, take 10 minutes for yourselves, everybody. Get yourselves taken care of. Feed that cat. Whatever you got to do. And
we're
you at
gonna
home,
deal with the cat.
if y'all need to pee, do it. And pause video. There we go. All right. We're back for phaser 2 of today's one-off event. Bo,
Let's shoot the ship's phasers.
I throw it back to you, sir.
Right. So, Captain Spacer, you're aboard the bridge when a bird of prey decloaks on the view screen, and Lieutenant Kobot says, "Captain, the Klingon ship is hailing us."
Open channels.
On screen, you see a Klingon sitting in his captain's Klingon chair, looking all Klingon-like warship, and you see a decorated-looking Klingon with the ridges and everything, and this gnarled face and scars all over his face, and he says, "Federation ship. This vessel belongs to the first of Cortesh. It is our mark. Please refrain from interfering, or you will face the consequences."
Klingon warship, this is Captain Greg Spacer of the USS Ottawa, and we've got a problem here. You seem to be attacking a ship that is helpless and unable to defend itself, and, well, we can't let that happen. So we would ask you to stand down, go on your way. No one need fight or have any additional interaction here.
"Captain Spacer, I am Veng, and this ship belongs to is a matter of Klingon Empire importance. You will back away. We are not in your Federation space. You have no claim here.
Okay, quick question. Are we in the neutral zone? Are we...
Yeah, you're in a neutral zone right now. You're exploring unexplored space, so you are in a neutral zone.
So we're in a place where we don't have treaties out here. Whatever,
yes,
whatever.
But you still have treaties with the Klingon Empire. Opening fire on a Klingon ship may potentially cause.
Yeah.
It could be a declaration of war.
That could be a thing of war.
This is not just shoot the problem away kind of situation. Necessarily. I mean, you're the captain. It's your choice.
I'll get... What's his name? Kang? What was it?
Vang.
Vang. Vang, give me one moment, and I would kind of make this signal to my communications officer to cut off audio for a second.
All right, he cuts off the audio.
And then I would turn around and say, how many souls aboard the disabled ship? And I don't know who.
Running a scan. And so Tome runs a scan on the ship and says, there are 4 life forms aboard the ship. Their shields are down. They would be available for transport. However, that might provoke the Klingon Veng. And then he also suggests, he says, might I suggest as well beaming Morrow back aboard? If we do encounter, if things go awry and we do have to defend ourselves, we will need our chief engineer aboard the ship.
Well, here's the problem. We can't just leave Dr. McGovern down there. And
he has 2, there are 2 ensigns below. This situation would supersede the situation below.
All right, bring Morrow up.
Very good.
And so
I will instruct Ensign Kenobi to beam him aboard directly to bridge.
You do that, and then in the meantime, I'm trying to get tricky here. So,
all right. As you do that, though, Kenobi, Morrow, you beam aboard the bridge.
Okay, straight to the bridge. Yeah, beam straight to the bridge, I say, and then there he is. Sweet.
Still have my little plasma torch out.
I would say. I would then say, because we're on a time limit here, because I got this dude on hold. I would say, is there any way, anybody here have any ideas on how we can get those 4 people off of that ship in a way that the Klingons won't detect?
I squint and look at the screen. Can I tell what damage the ship has received, or what sort of...
Absolutely, you can do that. Just from an eyeballing it, you can use a skill check to roll a insight and engineering. So 7 + 4 is 12. This will be a difficulty, because you're looking at it on a view screen. This is a difficulty 2.
Okay. 6 and a 16.
Okay. So you aren't able to tell exactly the damage, except what anyone can see, which is there appears to be a crack in the rear side of the ship where the warp nacelles intersect, and it appears to be leaking out some sort of substance into the space. Looks like probably their impulse engines are down, and you weren't on the bridge when this information was there, but there's no shielding.
Does the ship look special in any way? Like,
it's an alien ship that you haven't seen before, and I mean, you don't have the context because you just boarded the ship.
Yeah.
So but it doesn't match any make of ship that you're familiar with. It looks very alien in nature.
That's
it's
a
a
real
saucer with 2 antenna-like nacelles out the back.
That's a real collector's item, Captain. What's going on here?
Tome, before you speak, Captain Tome, might I suggest that you engage in a diplomatic ruse so that we might buy time to meet and discuss a strategy with more than just a few seconds?
That's a good idea.
Perhaps explaining to Veng that we have to consult with Starfleet before making a decision.
This is a good idea. Put comms back on, I'll say.
Kobot says, comms are live.
Vang, thank you for your patience. We are discussing the best way to handle this. The problem is, as you may know, the Federation is big and very bureaucratic these days. A lot of red tape to dig through. And because we are in a quadrant of space and in a system that neither the Klingon Empire or Starfleet have any claim to. We have to tread lightly on interacting with alien species or folks like yourself. So I need some time to commiserate with my people at Starfleet over subspace channels, and that's going to take a little time.
All right. So because this is you're attempting to diplomatically persuade him, we're going to use your command and presence.
Okay.
That's a 10 and a 5. So, and the difficulty for this, because he's a Klingon, is 3. So you're going to have to roll at least 2d20. Like, you can roll 2d20s, but you have to get 3 successes. So you may need to cash in some momentum.
I can decide that after the 2 rolls, though, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And you do have a focus in negotiations, which means any success for you, because this is a negotiation tactic. We'll stretch it a bit and say that's the case. You get a score of 2 successes per roll, no matter what it is. You get a critical success on any pass.
Okay.
So in theory, you could roll up to 4 with just your vanilla D2s as long as you made successes.
All right, here we go.
But you may want to have some insurance.
Well, the insurance being using momentum?
Yeah.
Okay. So first roll's a 3.
Okay, so that's 2 successes. You need 1 more.
Second roll is a natural 1.
Oh, so wow. I don't think you get an extra success for that, so you scored a total of 5 successes.
Okay.
Which means you can bank 2 or use 2 to be even more effective.
I would say. Oh, geez, we need this to be effective, so let's go ahead and spend a point.
Okay, so we'll add 1 to the momentum pool, and you'll spend an extra point to be even more diplomatic.
Okay.
Ven considers your words, and he says, "Yes, in my experience, it has been very... The outcomes have not been great when I have forced my discussions with Federation ships. You have 1 hour to leave the star system. Veng out." And then the communication cuts off.
All right.
The bird of prey sits there looming over the alien Kulon ship.
All right. Advice from the crew. Let me. I'll say, Morrow. What's your take here? I know you're just an engineer, but any thought? Well, actually, we need your engineering mind. I want to figure out a way to get those people off of that ship and over here before the Klingons know it or have any idea that we did, and then we will leave the system within the hour limit if we can pull this off.
Could I take a look at the scans in the bridge here and see if I can identify more about the ship using tools and technology?
Yep, you can do a sensor scan of the ship. So let's say from an engineering perspective, you're going to use engineering, and then you'll use insight. So 13 or under, with a difficulty of 0.
I got a 2 and an 18.
Okay, so you have 1 additional momentum to spend now or to store?
Let's store it. Let's get that storage back on.
You guys have 5 momentum now.
Oh wait! That thing's bursting.
Yeah, we got.
Yeah,
We're turning hard.
Spend it.
All right, so you do a more thorough scan of the Kulon ship. You can tell that essentially the impulse drive is down, shields are down. You do detect as well damage to what you're interpreting as life support systems may be limited, not severely damaged, but definitely not. It will definitely become unstable within a day or so if left unrepaired. Apart from that, the ship appears to be intact, but it also doesn't. Knowing with your knowledge of the Klingon bird of prey, the ship is also severely outclassed by such a warship. So it's clearly been hunted by this other one and wounded and sort of limping along. The other thing you do detect in your scans is an unusual source of energy aboard the ship. You're not quite sure what it is, but it is located in a place where the engines aren't, and so that's of interest. But you can't describe what the energy is. Just an unusual reading of energy in an unlikely part of the ship.
All right, I'll say, Captain, I don't think the people what the Klingons are after here. Looking at the data coming in, they've got some unusual energy readings. That ship has been thoroughly disabled. The life support's still ticking. I think that they don't so much care about the individuals.
Well, on the one hand, we could negotiate the escape of this crew and move them here and give them the ship, knowing that whatever they want is there and has nothing to do with the people anyway. But we may be handing a massive potential weapon or technology to the Klingons that they would use to disrupt peace in the galaxy.
I agree.
So, I got a real Kobayashi Maru going on here.
I think our best bet might be to me and the good doctor head on over, making sure whatever that energy is isn't a weapon of any kind before we go giving it away.
All right, I have a plan. I like that. That's we're gonna go that way. Comms officer, please get Kang or whatever his name is back online. Vang, get me Vang again.
Hailing Vang, says Cobot, your Romulan communications officer. The on screen Vang appears. What?
Good commander. We may have a solution to get everybody kind of what they need here and still be gone within the hour that you've given us. I'm going to teleport or beam over 2 of my crew who will assess the needs, both medically and otherwise, of the crew that is still there.
No transports, Captain. The contents of that ship belong to the Klingon Empire.
Those people have no reason to be in your crosshairs.
Those people are thieves, and they are without honor. They have stolen from the... what do they call this thing? They have stolen from the first of Cortesh, and they will pay the price with their lives, and we will reclaim our stolen merchandise.
So the items
You are asked to leave and not interfere.
They have in that ship items that you own. This is stuff that was stolen from the Klingon Empire. Is that what you're telling me?
They were stolen from the Temple of Cortesh on the planet of Sepith. They belong to the Klingon Empire.
Well, we have no desire to take anything that belongs to you. We only seek to spare the lives of those aboard that ship. And yes,
the Federation's sense of justice.
They may not have honor, as you say, and they may not have any worth to you. Therefore, let us take them. What will it hurt? And we'll give them a proper vetting and possible trial within the Federation if they've done wrong.
Yes, clearly Federation thinking. Give thieves an award for committing their crime. This is not the Klingon way. They have committed crimes against Klingon laws. They will be punished in the Klingon way. They will die in combat.
Well, I happen to know that the Klingons, though sometimes brutish...
Captain's face are cleaning his nose.
Yeah, cleaning his nose. Even though Klingons seem to be brutish on the outside, you have a strong sense of law and order, and you don't just summarily execute those who have done wrong until you have proven them to be guilty in a court of Klingon law. So, knowing that, I don't understand why you would just summarily kidnap these people or kill them or otherwise, rub them out.
Oh, interesting. So you're making an insight. Let's use your command and insight to see if you get a flash of brilliance here.
Because I saw Star Trek 6. I know what's going on.
Yeah. Your insight is 9. Your command is 5. So the goal is 14 or under.
14 or under.
Difficulty of 2.
Okay. I'm going to ensure that by using one of my momentums.
Oh, you're going to burn a momentum?
Yep.
All right, you're down to 3.
And I need to roll just 1 or 2 here.
Well, now you can roll 3 because you're burning a momentum.
Oh, right.
You can roll 3 d20s.
14 for the first one.
Mm-hmm.
5 for the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Third roll, 9. Man, I love rolling low for this game.
You get I'm not 100% sure if I'm doing the momentum right, but you got oh no, it was 2, so you have an extra momentum. I guess you can throw it back in the pool, or you can use it.
Oh, I'll throw it back in the pool, I guess.
Okay, yeah, that's a weird thing that makes me feel like I'm not doing things right. Let me use it and put it right back.
We'll
I'm
figure
like,
it
I
out.
don't know about this. All right, so there's a sense to you because you're in neutral space
Mm-hmm.
that it's possible that they are not exactly presenting you with the best, all of the information regarding the Klingon Empire in this scenario. Meaning, you may be aware that the Klingon courts have laws about the way they do things, but these Klingons appear to be behaving in a way to suggest that they are taking matters into their own hand and maybe a little bit rogue.
They've gone rogue. Okay.
The Klingon Empire, not known necessarily for its unification, right? A lot of infighting, a lot of clans and factions, and you don't know the whole story here, but they seem insistent on fooling you.
Okay, in light of that, I would motion to cut comms for a second and just say, I believe they're lying, and this is going no other way except perhaps a confrontation. I believe we need to get those people out of there first, have them here, shields up, and then prepare for a potential strike.
Your Romulan communications officer speaks up and suggests to you, perhaps you should contact Starfleet and find out if they can communicate with the Klingon Empire and have them stand down that way. They will not listen to you, but perhaps they will listen to their Klingon betters.
All right, I'll signal for the comms to come back up. I would say, Commander Vang, we will continue to adhere to the timeline as presented. I will contact you back later, and then hang up on him.
Okay. You hang up on him. He goes, "Bah!"
Yeah. And then I would do just this. I would say, please put a line to the Klingon, or to Starbase, or Starbase, whatever it is closest to us. Have them relay the message, all the right channels, talk to the Klingons, see what's going on.
On it, Captain, says Kobot.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to return to Dr. Spatty in sickbay. Dr. Spatty has been researching with her assistants to find something. She's not been able to find anything alike. However, you do sort of have the sense, plants can... you do have the sense in looking things up that plants can release spores. And so there's some sort of... Clearly, whatever this vine creature on the planet did was what is responsible for this foreign body in Dr. Sandoval. So it's just a question of identifying what it is and finding a way to counteract it at this point. Now,
Cool.
as you've been researching, Lieutenant Tracy has been minding the patient directly, and as you've been researching, what interrupts your thought is you hear a strange commentary from Dr. Sandoval. He says, "Greetings. It is happiness to see you," he says.
Oh no. And then she'll swivel around in her chair. Don't tell me you're the planet.
And then as you swivel around your chair and look at Lieutenant Tracy standing over Dr. Sandoval, these little things, these little stalks protrude from his nose and mouth as he says that, and then a burst of purple cloud hits Lieutenant Tracy, and she goes, "Oh!" She breathes it in. Oh,
that's a bad move, Tracy. All right, and she's gonna move away. She's gonna go get if there's a respirator, so that she doesn't breathe the spores in, and then she'll go back over to the the patient. All right, are you gonna harm this body that you're in?
You're saying that to Tracy or to Sandoval?
Sandoval. I don't think Tracy's turned yet.
Sandoval turns his head to you and he says, "Greetings, it is happiness to see you."
Yeah, it's happiness to see you too.
And then
Stalks happy?
And then stalks burst out of his nose and mouth, just like this appendage just comes out, and these two things come out and poof in your face. Now you've got your gas mask on, or your respirator on, but we still have to do a save roll, so you'll get resistance because of that. Let's do a medicine and a fitness roll. I don't know how to do saving throws in this game. We'll just say do the roll because we can do mental. We'll give it a difficulty of 1, and go medicine fitness.
5 and a 3.
Okay, perfect. So you can store that momentum, one of those momentums.
Yeah, let's store the momentum.
You're up to 5. All right, so you quickly you stand your ground, and the respirator takes it, and Sandoval begins looking at you with a very happy face. And as you detect his feeling with your Betazoid abilities, you detect that he seems peaceful, happy, and curious, and he's smiling at you greatly. Lieutenant Tracy turns around and wanders off outside of the sickbay.
Oh no! You, Tracy, you get back in here, and then she'll physically go over to Tracy, grab them by the arm, back into the sickbay, and then she'll lock the sickbay door.
Okay, Dr. Tracy turns to you and says, "Greetings, it is pleasing to meet you." And then the stalks come out of her face and go poof in your face again.
That was a lot faster.
Okay, so that's the situation in sickbay. Right, we return to Captain Spacer, and Morrow, you've joined Captain Spacer in his captain's room as the channel's opened up to Starfleet. And so an admiral appears on your view screen, Captain Spacer. This is Admiral Tengshin. Admiral Tengshin here. Captain Spacer, what news from the front?
Admiral, we have a bit of a situation here, and it's a little time sensitive.
Go ahead.
I need you, or someone with your authority, to get in touch with the Klingon Empire and find out if the Warbird, whatever the number is I can see on the side of the neck of the thing, is on official Klingon business in this part of the sector, or if they are a rogue element within the Empire.
He looks to his computer and he says, "I'm receiving the information and telemetry from USS Ottawa now. It seems you have a bird of prey there. We will look into this matter for you and respond. How much time do you have?"
About 45, I don't know, is it about 45 minutes?
About 50 minutes, yeah.
About 50 minutes until we have agreed to leave the area before shooting starts.
Understood.
And I'll fill him in. I'll fill him in on all the details. Like, we've got the ship. It's got other people in it. They're the such and suches. We have people on the planet still. This is all like a real tight situation.
And the Admiral says, "These Kulon, do you know why they are here? Do you know what the Klingons are after? Have you asked the Kulon?"
No.
Please do so and send that information along as well. It could be relevant.
All right, I'll get that right away and relay the information to you while you make your contacts.
All right, Tension out.
Bleep. And I
Bleep.
hang up.
All right.
My thick computer screen.
What do you do next, Captain Spacer?
I'm going to go out into the. Whoops, that's wrong. I'm going to go out the door and out into the main the deck thing there. Please get me the disabled ship on comms again, please. I'll say to the Romulan.
Raising a channel, says Cobot.
All right.
And then, boop. Queely is appearing back with his big bug eyes here and his mouth here, and he goes, "Greetings, one they call Spacer."
Queely, why I need to know quickly. It's for your safety to know this. Why are you here, and what are you carrying?
We bring gifts to Ephemari. Or Emfari. We bring gifts to Emfari.
You say it like that, so I'm suspicious, or was that just you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how he says it.
That's
We
how he
bring
did it?
gifts to Emfari. So Emfari will be merciful this year.
I'll look at Tome. Is it Tome?
Yeah. Tome.
With a look that says, "Quick, find all you can find on this Emfari." What the hell
All
is
right.
that?
And Tome goes hyperspeed. Roll your command and presence roll.
All right, here comes 6.
Okay. You can store it as momentum or cash it in now.
Let's cash it in.
All right. Actually, you should probably store it. There's nothing extra.
Okay, there's
That's
nothing
my
extra.
bad. That's my
All right,
bad. You have
we'll
6
store it.
momentum now.
We'll store it.
Captain, there are no entries on Infamari in the Starfleet database.
I'll look
Emfari, rather.
back to the screen and just say, what is this Emfari? Is it a god? Is it your emperor? What is it?
The Emfari favor us. so long as we bring them their Baculum crystal. We give Baculum crystal to Emphari. Emphari favor Kulon.
Hold on, are the Emphari the plant creatures on this planet here that we're all orbiting?
Plant creature? Emphari are the gods of Kulon. The Emphari favor the Kulon. The Kulon honor the Emphari with crystal.
Where is the Emphari?
Emphari is below on planet. We have arrived at the great Emphari world.
Is there a way to insight whether I think it's the plant-based organism down there?
Yeah.
Since he's not saying, because he's a dummy.
Maybe you can just ask a clarifying question.
Okay. Are the Emphari, are they are the great leafy green creature that covers this much of this planet?
The Kulon do not gaze upon the Emphari. We do not know the shape and shape of the Emphari.
So you only get
We
as
will
far...
give the crystal to the planet,
So
and
you-
the Kulon will be favored.
You just poop it through the atmosphere and then send it down there. Is that what you do?
What is poop? What is pooping?
You jettison your gifts through the atmosphere.
Oh, no. We do not excrete crystal. We deliver crystal.
Right, but when you do, your ship sends it through this atmosphere.
Yes, sending. We
Okay.
sending safely, delicate.
Okay, just hold on.
Not poop.
Hold on a moment, and I'll tell them to cut the thing. All right, so the green thing, they think it's their god, and whatever they stole from the Klingons, or the Klingons claim they stole, is the gift that they've brought for their gods, which really is just this plant creature that tried to kill our crew. So, I still think we maybe need to teleport them over here, whether they want to or not, and let the Klingons have at it, and let Starfleet and the Klingon Empire deal with it, figure it out on their own.
At that moment, can Spotty call in?
Yep.
Captain,
Yes, this is Captain Spacer. Who's this?
Captain,
Yeah.
take a look at this. Who is this? Read my mind
You're
and
supposed to
tell me
say
who
name
this
to
is.
name.
Oh yeah.
Spotty the captain.
Oh okay. Hello.
He's redressing you for your manners on the communicator.
Then I'll say.
He can read my mind. Why are we wasting time?
Wait. Wait. Who can read whose mind?
You guys can talk.
Oh, to each other,
You
'cause
have
we're
Betazoid, and you're half
yeah.
Betazoid, and she's Betazoid.
I forgot about that power. Okay. What? So I guess what is it? What do you need?
Look at this. And then she'll swivel the camera to the talking plant people.
Yeah. So the camera now shows sick bay, and they're Dr. Sandoval, Lieutenant Seng, and also now Officer Meng are walking around with stalks coming out of their nose and mouths, going, "Greetings! It is happiness to see you." And they're trying to like hug and be nice to Dr. Spotty, who's wearing a mask. And
Are you in any danger from these? these
I'm
things?
doing fine, but if they get out, it could be a heap of trouble. Like, they were infected on the planet, so we gotta do something.
All right, hold on. Boop, I hit my
Wait.
thing and go security. Security level, whatever the thing's on, go down there. We need a couple of people to security.
No, we don't want security in this room, unless you want more people walking around like this.
Okay, just stay on the out. Whoever goes down there, stay on the outside and guard the door. Don't let anything in or out.
hey,
Wait, Doctor,
Captain,
what-
eh?
what-
Go ahead.
what are you-
Go ahead.
What are you saying, Doctor?
I'm saying that the planet's talking through these schmoes.
Ask
Oh.
them if they know how to poop.
That might
Do
be
you know
useful.
how to poop?
Greetings. It is
That's all
happiness
I
to
got.
see you.
I'm sensing happiness. That's about it.
All right.
Ask them if they know what's going on up here and if they have any ideas.
They know it's happiness to meet people. That's about it.
You said they're acting contagious.
Yeah, that's why I got this mask on. They say hello, it's happy to meet you, and then they infect you.
Tomb, or is the doctor's quarters well ventilated?
This is a good point. We probably should cut off the ventilation to that room and restrict it only to a specific vent to ensure they have air if there's a solution for this.
Yeah,
Also, get your masks on.
but yeah, let's get an emergency going out here, Captain. We got an airborne moving through the system.
Yeah, I agree. Do that.
Okay.
I need to communicate with these beings, though.
All right, so do you send a yellow alert, a red alert?
Yeah, I'll say, all right, yellow alert.
Cobot says, I've opened a channel to the entire ship. You may wish to deliver the news yourself, Captain Spacey.
Okay. This is your captain speaking. No need for alarm, other than I guess there's an alarm. Don't freak out about the alarm that's going off, but we've got a bit of a situation. We have a foreign material agent something in the ship. It is currently isolated to the med bay. Please do not go near that. Keep that entire deck clear. Other than the security, who will be making sure that the outer door is shut, and watch yourselves. Everyone keep a phaser on hand, and
you may want to confine them to quarters unless necessary.
That's a great idea. Everybody stay in your quarters, unless you absolutely have to. Unless you've been told by your supervisor otherwise, stay in your freaking quarters. Captain out. Bloop.
All right, very good. All right, Spotty's still on screen, or Spotty's still in the communicator and on screen.
All right, I would say we need to communicate with these beings more than just hello, I'm happiness to meet you. We need to know what their intent is. And
All
also,
right, let me think at him real hard. And then she'll kind of close her eyes and look like she's trying to squeeze one out.
So, some of the options you have, Dr. Spotty, would be you could beam out of the sick bay once they're in there, and you could also put the, I can't remember what they call it, but you can knock them out as something that you can try and do.
Cool. So she'll try and talk with them telepathically first, then she'll say, all right, you guys have fun being happy with one another. I'll see you in a bit. And then
Yeah,
she'll
you
get
don't
out.
detect any way to converse with them telepathically any differently than that. So to knock them out, we need to use medicine and control for the device. So let's do a difficulty. They're not very combative. They're very friendly and peaceful. So we'll do a difficulty 1, just because they are kind of insisted on putting spores out. So yeah.
A 9 and a 9.
Okay, perfect. So you can store momentum or use it now if you wish. Actually, we're at max momentum, so.
oh, there's a cap, is there?
Yeah, it was a cap of 6.
Okay.
So you put everyone out. You take the thing. You go, tss, tss, and then gently lay them into the bed while the other ones are harassing you. You're like, okay, come on, tss, tss, and you lay them all out. And now you could beam out, or you could stay in the sick bay. It's up to you.
No, she'll beam out.
She'll beam out. Okay, to the. Let's just take you to the bridge where the action is. All right, so you beam to the bridge.
So what I want to do, life support.
Yeah,
cut
so you
off
got.
the-
Yes, you're gonna. You wanted to reroute life support, right, to make sure it's sort of that they're breathing, but they're not sharing the ship's air. Correct?
Yeah, however, like if it's got an hours on it, particularly if they're asleep, they might last a long time. So,
You'll be able to. Well, we'll see. It depends on the difficulty. So let's do an engineering and reason roll to figure out what the what will require design-wise to make this happen with the existing engineering computer on the bridge. Do you have? No, you don't have a special focus in ventilation systems. So anyways, we'll make this a baseline difficulty of 2. However, there'll be additional effects for how much time of air they'll have based on how many successful rolls you have.
all right. I got an 8 and a 7.
Okay, that's 2 successes. And so you're able to, what you're able to do is engineer a solution whereby air gets routed to the sick bay and then gets recycled and doesn't contaminate with the rest of the air. However, in conducting this, you do realize potentially some spores may have gone out in the regular air supply. But you can't be certain where or when or how. Your estimate would be a matter of time before somebody outside the sick bay becomes infected, potentially.
Cool. Then I will say there to the captain, Captain, I recommend that anyone not confined to quarters is put on oxygen if possible.
All right. I'll convey that message to. I'll do another ship-wide hoo-ha and tell everybody.
Okay. Well, yeah, you can just. So not everything has to be announced over the captain's things. You can give an order to your communications officer to send that memo to everyone.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll say, hey, Romulan, who normally nobody trusts, you're great. You take care of it.
All right. So Kobot takes care of it. It is true. He is negatively regarded among us, lot of the ship, as being somewhat of an anomaly. In fact, the only Romulan enlisted in Starfleet. Okay, perfect. So you send out that request. Now, what were we doing before? Oh, you guys were trying to figure out what to do with the Kulons. And by the way, Dr. Spotty's now aboard the bridge.
Okay.
He takes a seat next to you. Your number 1 is on your left. Dr. Spotty's on your right.
All right. I still like my plan of beam them over and then brace for reaction. Because if all they truly want is what's on that ship, here's what we should do. Oh, I got it. We beam them over, and at the exact same time, Tactical gets a lock on the ship with the stuff in it that the Klingons want. And we open up a channel with them and say, if you fire on us, we will eviscerate their ship and everything that's on it, which means whatever it is you're after will be lost. So basically, I'm gonna hold them hostage a little bit and say.
So you want to beam over the Kulons and that's it? Nothing else?
No, I want to beam the Kulons over and lock on the Kulon ship to destroy it, so that when the Klingons get all worked up, we can say, we basically have a gun to their friend's head. And we're saying, I'm going to blow this up and destroy it, and everything that's on it, meaning your stuff that you're all after, your stolen stuff, it'll be destroyed too, unless you just let us leave. If you let us leave, you can have the ship and what's in it.
So when you transport them, they may be able to do a scan to detect if there's life signatures and know that you've beamed them aboard your ship?
Well, they would be able to detect us beaming from one ship to another. Like in Star Trek, everybody can always detect everybody doing shit out there.
Yeah.
So they would know that we've moved the life signs from the Kulon ship over to our ship, and their reaction will be to fire on us as a result. And my answer to them will be, well, if you do that, then I blow the ship up with the stuff on it you're so worried about.
Okay. Do you have any concerns about Klingons welcoming battle?
Yeah, but
that's the play you want to go for.
I'm making the bet that what's on that ship matters more to them than the fight.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so you explain this plan to your crew, and they understand that that's the plan. Just let me know when you're ready to execute.
Any mutinies or anything? Everyone good?
Nope. Everyone says yes, sir. It's an emergency situation, so the talkback is at a minimum.
Okay. All right, we're ready then.
Okay. You'll have to communicate with Ensign Kenobi.
Ensign Kenobi, beep beep. I say. I literally say beep beep. No, I don't do that. I say, Mr. Kenobi, please beam the life forms aboard that ship directly into a holding cell. One of those, the ones that have all the energy fields around them. The brig, yeah, whatever the equivalent of the brig is. We're gonna put him in there. To beam him over. So beam him directly into the brig.
You hear the following in response: "Greetings. It is pleasing to meet you."
Oh shit!
Oh
He's
no!
taking over?
That's the planet.
Ah, Kenobi, you piece of shit! Of course he got it.
Now Marrows could control transport from the bridge. You have that option.
Yeah, we can go point to point. Well, that's what we'll do. So I'll turn.
Captain, aren't you worried they might get infected if we bring them over here?
Well, that's why I'm saying we got to stick them in the brig. They should be fine. That's all airtight in there. They should be fine.
Yeah.
Captain, the exact problem is nothing's airtight in this situation. I'm trying to trace how the air got from sick bay to the transporter room.
Okay. It probably just made it out in general air before the air situation was solved. You can trace an exact, pathway from sick bay to transporter room easily. But you were just not in time. You were not informed in time.
Plus, Kenobi's a class A dipshit. He probably just touched something he shouldn't have or whatever.
Well, no, you literally just breathe and you got it. I don't like Kenobi either, but I'll stand by.
All right, so
yeah,
then
he's a weasel.
We'll do a ship-to-ship transport. Ship-to-ship transport. Put them in the brig. It's still safer and better because we don't know what we haven't been able to vet them either. We don't know what they have, what they're carrying, what they could give us, all that. It's just better that they're put into that kind of quarantine. So we're gonna go from ship to ship with them. Then we'll tell Tactical.
Can we just run the thing to the planet and feed it to the planet, and maybe our people will be freed?
Run the. Oh, I see what you mean. Well, we have to wait. We have to gauge the reaction of the Klingons before we can do anything. So.
I mean, we'll be off the ship. That was a joke.
So, all right, let's do this. We're beaming them. We're putting them in jail. We're gonna then Tactical. You need to lock on to their ship. Not the Klingons, the whatever ship it's called. What are they called again?
The Kulon.
The Borgnines? The Kulons.
Kulon.
Lock onto the Kulons as if you are going to destroy it and unload on it. And then we wait for the Klingons to respond.
All right. So, Morrow, that's your cue. So you can tell Morrow what to do.
All right. So Morrow, because he's tactical. Wait, what is he?
Well, Morrow's not tactical. Morrow's chief engineer, but he can take over for transport.
All right.
He also has a specialization. One of his focuses is in transporters and replicators. So he's your man.
All right. Then I would tell him to initiate that and the simultaneous lock on that we have to plan in order to make this work. Now the thing is, in Star Trek lore, you have to pull your shields down to teleport anybody in or out. So shields can't be up while you're doing beaming. Once the beam is through, you can throw them back up again, but there will be a brief window of no shields to get them over here for as long as that beam is.
See, this is what I mean. I'm just pausing here because the Wraith in chat's like no Star Trek quarantine protocols, and I'm just remembering. Oh yeah, don't they put energy shields?
Oh yeah, I've never actually really watched Star Trek. I'm just playing a fake game with a fake story.
I would have suggested.
Chat, good job.
I would have suggested it too because I was like, oh yeah, they do that all the time. I was like, oh well, whatever.
Yeah, card
laid is a card played. We're rolling with it.
That's why I'm saying the thing with the brig. It's an answer to that, even though whatever. It's again, we can blame Kenobi because he's a dipshit. It's fine. Well, he screwed up.
While we're table talking, weren't you gonna call back Starfleet once you got information from the ship we're about to steal from?
I was, but everything's firing at once, and I don't know if I can wait for their slow ass response because it's
all right. Captain Spacer's being an alpha.
Yeah, Spacer's like, all right, we got to grab this bull by the horns because what else are you gonna do? I can't sit around looking at my watch. We got to make action, and they can still answer it because what'll happen is this can all happen and go down, and the confrontation with the Klingons will start, and then if we get word from Starfleet, perfect time to go. Well, we heard back from Starfleet. They say the Klingons, blah, 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 whatever.
But all you talked about was Starfleet. You didn't realize there was a contagion aboard your ship. That's increased the emergency level.
Yeah, that's made everything accelerate.
Yeah, we've boiled. The pot is now boiling.
Yeah.
All right, so you're up, Marrows. For you have to use the controls. So you'll be making a roll to make sure this is a finesse thing. You got to send them to the bridge. It's a difficulty of 2, and you're trying to do it so that it's not detected. So the more successes that you expend, the less likely the Klingons are to detect your fine handiwork of transportation.
Well, I wouldn't object with the captain, but I would be aware that lowering our shields is a pretty big sign to the Klingons that we're doing the thing we said we wouldn't do.
They're not raised yet. Captain hasn't raised his shield.
Yeah.
Well, no, they'd be raised the whole time.
The shields were never raised.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I didn't hear an order to raise
No.
shields.
The shields should be. I would have raised shields. Once we're done with any beaming, like once we got the doctor, she's point to point anyway.
No, we don't want to retcon this to make it harder, Scott.
Yeah,
yeah. There's no shields. Shields aren't up. You're good.
All right. Well, then I would say, shields are down while you do the teleportation. They immediately go up when you're done.
Yes, that would be part of it because you're gonna raise shields after he's done, and then arm weapons to shoot the Kulon ship.
Okay.
So
Okay. Cool.
we are getting to the shields part, but he never raised.
Cool.
Usually in a show, the bird of prey shows up and you go shields up. Holy shit, bird of prey.
Yeah.
But we didn't, which is great. Which makes it means I don't have to like fake the shields or anything like that. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna haul through a bit of this saved up momentum and use 2 of it.
Okay, perfect. And for this tactical move, we're going to go with engineering. Or no, it's a con. So this is a console. This is piloting the ship and stuff like that. So it's going to be a con plus control. So this is about using control like with precisions, like doing the slider and pushing these buttons over here and like this. Control and con. Yeah,
I've got 15 in that. That's great. Do I get anything for my focus since I'm focused in transporter?
Yes, each success counts as 2 successes.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. Well, then I'm going to let these dice roll. I got a 5 and a 19, a 7 and an 18. So 2 successes, meaning 4.
4 successes, because you get crits on any successes because it's your focus. Okay, great. So you only needed a 2 to successfully. Oh my god, my face. You only needed 2 successes to successfully perform the transport. But because of the additional expenditure of momentum, you were able to you cashed in 2 momentum, right?
Right, and if I can use that, I'd love to isolate the air in the brig so that we're not taking them into.
Yeah. Oh, you raise a force field. The brig has additional force fielding, allowing.
Cool.
Its air still has to pass through it, even though there's a force field. So, but the energy shield will provide it with like prophylactic measure, as for the spores. So yes. You are able to, with great precision, lock onto them. Transport. Can we get a transporter sound? Transport the Kulons to the brig, and there's no reaction from the ship. However, quickly thereafter, you want to do some things, Scott, like raise shields and arm photon
raise
torpedoes.
shields. The arming should have already happened, or started when as soon as we hit transport. The arming of things and the locking on. You'd want to do that all at once.
It was a coordinated effort. All right, so your tactical says photon torpedoes armed.
Right. Okay. Shields.
Oh, it's the German guy. The photon torpedoes are armed.
Jawohl. All right, then I would say
we've got the photon torpedoes armed.
I would then say
locked onto the Kulon ship.
I'd say well done, Lieutenant. Raise shields.
Shields raised, Captain.
Open a communication signal. Wait for the Klingons to say something.
Open a hailing frequency to Veng.
Yeah.
What is the meaning of this, Captain Spacer?
There's no meaning to anything. The ship is still there, and we are preparing to leave.
My sensors detect that you've locked on your photon torpedoes to the Kulon ship.
At this moment, I'm gonna telepathically reach out to the captain.
All right.
Incoming message, brain message.
Okay, I feel a little tickle in the back of my head. I'll listen.
And she'll suggest teleporting Spores onto the ship if they can.
Actually, this is.
She'll think that at Morrow too.
This isn't bad.
Okay, you hear.
The problem is we can't teleport. We can't teleport anything into the Klingon ship with their shields up.
The Klingons' shields are up.
Yeah, they're not going to let us in. I'd love that idea, though. I would love to give them this spore.
But maybe there's a way you could convince them to lower the shields. Like, what if... This is just table talking here, but what if you wanted to give them the prisoners? You said, "Oh, we'll give you the prisoners," and then you give them the spores instead.
Well, that's... Okay, so let's think for a second. Well, I'll answer his question first. Having heard her suggestion and liking it, I will say, Vang, we're locked on that ship and prepared to destroy it if you take any retaliatory action against us.
He strokes his beard and he goes, "What are you after, Captain? This is not like Starfleet."
We're after nothing. We're after a peaceful resolution to this confrontation and our safe exit from this system. All within the time.
I have told you there is no safe resolution but the surrender of this ship to our control.
You can soon have that. I'm just saying, don't do shit, or else I blow it up and then you've lost your precious stolen cargo. So do not fire upon us. If you fire on the Ottawa, there will be nothing but hell to pay. Here and back in Starfleet and Empire-controlled space.
I am losing patience, Captain.
Clearly. But mine are all gone as well. Here's all you have to do. You've got the ship. You raise your shields. We raise our shields as a good act of faith. And you can have whatever's on that ship. And at that point, we will make the peaceful transfer of our... how do I put this? This is the really important part to say. We will make the peaceful transfer of our captives from that ship and send it back to you, directly to your bridge. And you will have both them, and notice I'm being vague about how I'm describing them. We have two kinds of captives on the ship right now. One's in spore form and one's some dudes in the brig. They think I'm going to send them the brig dudes. I'm suggesting we send them whatever they think I'm sending them, but really it'll be teleport a shitload of spores into the bridge and F them all up.
Okay.
That's the plan. So, but I don't tell him that. So I say that's what we would do, and it would be an act on both our sides of goodwill to raise our shields, to make that exchange. Then we've had our chance to look them over, pass them back to you. You get the ship and whatever's on it, and we let the Empire and Starfleet work it out.
You have the fugitives aboard your ship.
We definitely have foreign fugitives aboard this ship.
And then you hear him go, "Chok ikak chucha kuta hikak," and he gets up and he takes a blade and he cuts the neck of a Klingon next to him. Ha! Etaputa! You have transported them to your ship without our knowledge. Well played, Captain. You will not get the best of me a second time.
Do we have an agreement?
What do you get in return for transporting the captives? We also require the crystal.
We end up with safe exit from this place. And it's all we ask. You have whatever you want at that point.
I do not understand you, Captain. We promised you safe exit if you left the ship alone, and yet you involved yourself further.
We don't believe you, that's why. Never met a Klingon I could trust. Every Klingon I've ever worked with.
Dogs. Trust Starfleet to screw up an easy agreement.
The only Klingon...
Very well, if you have the captives, we will take them, and the crystal.
Lower your shields and I'll begin the transfer.
Power down your photon torpedoes.
As an act of goodwill, I'll do just that. And I won't lower my shields yet, but I will power down the photon torpedoes. And they should be able to see that, so I would not...
Yes, Captain. The photon torpedoes are unpowered now.
It's better than Kenobi. Okay.
I can't do German very well, but I try.
All right.
I'm German, but I was raised in France.
Our torpedoes are offline. Now your turn. And you can see they're offline. Scan, you can see.
Tukta. And then they scan. Very well, Captain. On the count of 3, you drop your shields, and we drop ours.
All right, is it on 3 or is it go, or how do you do it?
On go.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1, go, or 1, 2, 3, go?
3, 2, 1, go.
Now, or that was just an example?
That was a practice, Captain.
Okay, all right. Now the real
one. You needed clarity, and I provided it for you.
Okay, do a real one now.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right. We'll lower our shields. They're down.
You lower your shields, and this is where you have to make a roll to see if you've convinced the captain of this. So I need your command and your your presence.
Command and presence, that'd be a 15.
15, and the difficulty is 4.
I'm going to use... How much do we have in our momentum hull?
You have 4 momentum.
And I can use up to what for this? All of them? Or 2 of them? Or what's the deal?
You can use as many as you want. Oh, actually, no, sorry. The cost, I keep forgetting this part. You can buy 1 additional dice for 1, 2 additional dice for 2, or sorry, 1 additional dice for 1, a second dice for 2, and then for 3. Like the cost goes up by 1 each time, which I don't think I did for Kyle in his roll, but that's
okay. I want 2 dice. I want to buy 2 dice.
So that costs you 3 momentum.
Okay, and that leaves us with 1 in storage.
That's right. Yeah.
So I have a total of 3 dice, right?
You bought 2, you have 4. You can roll 4.
Oh, I can roll up to 4. Oh, right.
Yeah,
I already
and the
have
difficulty is 4. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
And you have, sorry, 1 second. You have a focus in negotiations.
Yeah.
And an intimidation as well. So each of your successes counts as 2 successes.
All right. First one is a success. It's an 11.
Mm-hmm.
Second roll is a 7.
All right, you've met your quota. You still have 2 more rolls to do.
12. Can't believe this.
Uh-huh.
Final roll 8.
All right, so you have 8 successes, or you have, 8 successes for a 4 difficulty
Oh,
thing.
right.
I think you can store 1 from the 2 extra, so you can store up to 2 momentum, or you can just spend them.
I will. I mean, that pretty much solves my. I mean, that's a big successful roll, so I should store them, right? What else can I do with? If I use those momentums, what advantage do I get at this point?
Unknown.
Oh shit. You know what? So I get 2 out of that.
This is a pretty important play, and we're almost at the end of the episode. You might as well blow them.
Let's blow them. 2. Let's do it. All gone. Out.
All right. So you weren't sure if there was always the potential when you lowered shields that the Klingon ship would not lower its shields and fire photons at you or something like that. However, nothing springs forth from the ship.
Okay.
And now, Morrow, you're up to do transportation again.
All right.
This is a difficulty 0. Or no, sorry. Actually, this is a difficulty 5. You have to transport spores. You have to find the spores in the ship, target them, and transport them. This is not an easy task.
I've got it.
For an average Starfleet person. And yes, Spotty can help you as a scientist.
Isn't it easier for him to teleport the 2 mouth breather dudes that are now in the thing? We don't. Well, I guess we want to try to save them, don't we?
No, you're not transporting the Kulon. You're transporting the spores.
No.
Right?
I mean the people, Kristen's assistants who now have the spore faces, the plant faces.
You want to Okay, as a Starfleet captain, you are required to a certain amount of ethics. I know Chat's already brought up the issue of biological warfare, but I'm going to skip over that for now. But the what I want to say is it's challenging. So Kyle, you do have. Your transporters are your specialty, so every success is a critical success for you. And Dr. Spotty can help you. So, Spotty, you can roll engineering, 1 dice of engineering and control to help him. Okay?
Can she take action to further help? 'Cause
yeah.
The thought is Spotty's gonna go teleport to medbay, grab one of the. Oh, they're asleep. No, that jerk. The Weasley guy, Kenobi.
Kenobi?
Yeah. So
You're gonna go to
down
Ensign
there.
Kenobi?
She's gonna grab Kenobi, and then she'll stand in the space, have him out the air, and then she'll step out and let Morrow do the.
Right. So you're gonna farm the spores that's gonna get sent over there. Correct?
Yeah, because then there's definitely a cloud of spores.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so that's how you'll roll your assistance dice then. So, Morrow, you transport Spotty to transport bay. All right. Now, Spotty, you have to make a roll to get him to cough out some spores. So immediately as you get there, you beam into the transport bay. Kenobi looks at you and goes, "Greetings. It is happiness to see you," and begins moving towards you in a hug.
All right, she'll move back slowly toward the teleporter.
Okay, and if you want, you could use one of your device to create a force field to capture the spores as he breathes them out. So he approaches you, the little things pop out of his nose and his mouth, these little tentacles that release spores.
Cool, she readies to capture it.
So your device, so let's make a skill roll for your device, okay? It's control and medicine, so 15, and that's a 15 total. Difficulty of, let's say, 2.
13 and an 8.
Okay, so you were successful, and you can store some momentum on that. You have, is that, because I just want to see, is that a focus of yours? Trauma surgery, xenobiology, virology. Yeah, virology. This counts. So you get 4 successes. You can store up to 2 of the momentum if you wish.
She'll store the 2
Yeah.
momentum and use the extra. She has an extra 1, right?
Yeah, sorry, you store 1 momentum. I think you don't get 2 momentum from a crit. It's just you get 1. So you can store 1, sorry.
Yeah, she'll use 1. She'll store the.
So you beam over. He goes to embrace you and says, "Greetings, it is pleasing to meet you." Spits out the spores. You capture it with your medical device into a force field. Morrow, and then you message Morrow. Let's get Morrow.
Hey, Morrow, you ready? I'm sensing readiness here.
All right, Captain.
Yes.
Okay, so Morrow, you're at your console. You have a lock-on position of where Spotty has captured the spores. You can roll. It's a difficulty. It's lowered the difficulty because she's done this to a 3, but you still have to transport and isolate. So let's get an engineering and control check, difficulty 3.
Real quick, while he's
Okay.
doing that, this is not technically germ or chemical warfare or biological warfare, because that's used against like populations and people and junk like that. This is straight up a ship full of warlike, roguelike.
It's Klingons.
Yeah.
Klingons.
They're not
But
people.
even beyond that, keep in mind the bigger picture here, because if this is Chad arguing biological warfare, you're not seeing the genius of this plan. By infecting their ship, assuming we get the crystal to the planet, that thing will probably do a favor and cut this mental connection, which means it frees everybody. So by basically handcuffing ourselves together, we have to get the crystals to the planet.
There you
Oh,
go.
look at Dr. Spot. Look at the brain on Dr. Spotty.
Yeah.
So
that's
you
good.
gotta think about these things, right?
She is the
If it's not
science officer.
permanent and it can be cured. You know?
Yep, I'm into it. All right, so let's go with those rolls, Mero. It's your time to act. You're a man of action. Your chin is yearning for transport action.
Excellent. All right, there's 2 momentum at the moment.
Yes.
I'm going to use
Yeah.
them both.
All right. You're now at 0 momentum.
All right, I rolled a 20 and an 18, so glad I did it.
Yeah.
4 and a 3.
All right, that's 4 successes. You've cleared the 3 difficulty benchmark. You use the consoles and transport the spores over. And where do you transport them to the bridge?
Is it going to sparkle when it arrives?
Yeah, they'll be in effect.
Okay, could I put it into their air system? Do I know their ship well enough? Do our scans?
You're familiar with the makes of Klingon vessels, so yeah, you would be able to find. You could pick anywhere.
All right, well, let's
Transport.
drop it in life support and we'll do the whole ship in one big bomb.
Okay, perfect. So, all right. So Okay, so you conduct this. The transport happens, and then you hear on the communicator, Captain Spacer. You hear, "Talk, ikag, kwetar stuten." I don't know Klingon.
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
And then Vang says, "What is the meaning of this, Captain? Shields up!" He says, "Shields up, Captain. Where are the prisoners and the crystal? We detect a transport, but have nothing in our transportation bay."
Well, it turns out the visitors we sent to you are very small, and that's just the way it is, bud.
Lieutenant Tome says, "Captain, may I recommend raising our shields?"
Shields, raise shields.
Raising the shields.
I'll say spacer out, and I'll hang up on Klingon boy.
And just before you hang up, Veng says, "Arm the photon!" And then you hear, "Captain, the Klingon vessel is arming its photon torpedoes. I recommend we take evasive action."
Evasive maneuvers, Lieutenant Gunter.
All right, evasive maneuvers. You can provide a command roll along with that.
Let me give you that.
Command, and sorry, what is it? Command and presence.
And conquer.
Conquer.
That would be a 17. Did I hit it?
No.
Damn it.
You're 15. All right, but it Gunter takes his evasive actions. All right, and he's able to maneuver. And just as you're expecting the photon torpedoes to fire from the bird of prey, the ship appears to drift motionless. There's sort of this moment of silence, of tension rather, as everyone waits to see what the bird of prey does.
Report, I'll say to anyone who will give me a report.
Okay, so Lieutenant Tome says, it would appear that the weapon system is operational, but the ship is not firing. Our sensors are unable to penetrate because their shields are up. However, we are not detecting any impulse movement from the ship. Perhaps your ruse worked, Captain.
Raise this channel. Let's see if we can get him on the comm.
All right, you raise a channel. Cobot says hailing frequency, and then the on-screen comes up, and you see Veng sitting there, and he smiles. Greetings, Captain. It is pleasing to see you.
It is
And
very.
he sort of lumbers closer to the view screen, and he opens his mouth, and these little tentacles start coming out of his nose and mouth, and he goes, and it sprays the view screen. And you see other Klingons sort of in the back walking around like kind of zombies with their hands forward, just walking around their ship.
All right. All right. I will say, well, it's happiness to see them as well, and I'll cut the channel off.
All right.
We now have an opportunity, which we may not have time for, but we should probably try.
Yeah, we got to wrap this turkey up. Let's go. We got to solve the.
We got to get the stuff off that ship that goes down to the planet somehow. So,
well, we're free to go on the ship whenever we want.
So I'm gonna, yeah. So here's what we'll do. Let's teleport. Let's beam Kyle and the android over to retrieve this stuff, or at the very least, mark it so we can figure out what we're beaming over or whatever, or beaming to the planet, and then we can site to site beam it right to the planet.
All right, Chief Antivera, you'll have to beam yourself over along with Lieutenant Commander Tom.
Wait, is there someone who can beam us back?
Yeah,
I mean, someone can sit at your console on the ship, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone in Starfleet is well versed in one another's disciplines. They're generally multidisciplined for people. So we'll say Cobot does it for you. Cobot, you get up from your console. Cobot sits at your console, prepares you, and you've transported over. The commander's made it. Captain's made it so the sound effect played.
All right.
So you beam aboard the alien vessel, and along with Lieutenant Commander Tome, this is the android, and you are in a hallway that's completely gray, intersects 4 ways. At the end of each hallway, you see doors, like large metal doors. There's a hemming of ley lines of like green, sort of pulsing. Lieutenant Commander Tome takes out his tricorder and then points this way, and he says, "The energy readings are coming from this direction." And he begins walking that way.
I'll nod and follow.
Yeah, you follow him into a room. The door opens, and you're in this circular room, and in the center is a large blue crystal hovering in the middle, sort of rotating. And most of the light comes from this crystal as it shines throughout the room. This is the Bacolum crystal that the Kulon Queely talked about.
All right. Does it appear it's just a crystal, not the power system or anything like that?
It just appears to be a crystal on a pedestal.
All right. Then I will take the necessary scans needed to triangulate this down to the planet.
Okay. So let's get from you an engineering and reason roll. So 8 + 4 is 12.
16, 17.
All right, you failed in your task. Let's say the Lieutenant Commander Tome will give you an additional roll here. I don't think I set a difficulty. I guess we'll say it's a difficulty 0. It's not that you're not under any pressure. It's not that hard. So
Done it a million times.
you'll be able to lock onto this no problem and transport it down to the surface. This is a fairly everyday task for you.
Cool.
Yeah. That's all there is to see in the ship. Lieutenant Commander Tome says, if you wish, Barrow, we could spend more time examining the ship to see if we can't repair it for the Kulan.
Yeah, I was
However-
aware of their warp. So their warp was their impulse engines were down. Their shields.
Impulse engines down. Shields are down. Warp was still online. They had warped into the system, so that's still working. Life support is limited. We don't have a lot of time left.
Was leaking.
Yes, that's right. Their life support.
Cool. Yeah, we'll go about repairing their
effectuating repairs. Okay, perfect. So we're just going to kind of hand wave a lot of stuff because we're trying to wrap up the conclusion to our one shot here.
For the record, this is what Star Trek does every week. They solve everything in the last minute and a half, so this isn't that unusual.
Yeah, this is par for the course. Yeah. So you begin effectuating repairs. Captain Spacer, do you want to at all speak to the Kulan again? They're in your brig.
Yeah, while they're doing that, simultaneously, I am down there in the brig discussing with them what we want to do here. That we're able to successfully beam their gift to their god, whatever the hell it was called. I forgot now. The Queef. What was it? What was it called?
The
Aphardius? What was it?
Emfari. The Emfari. They're Emfari gods.
I'll tell them that happened, and that we would like to send them back to their ship, that we've done some repairs, and that they should have no more trouble from the Klingons. Their best bet is to, once they get in, to get back to their home.
Okay, perfect. So you go down and you discuss with them. They say, "Greetings, Captain Spacer. Good to see you." And you discuss with them what needs to be done. You learn from them as speaking with them that part of the bountiful blessing that delivering these crystal does actually helps their organisms remain strong, and they bring that back with them. And from that, Dr. Spotty is able to create an antidote for the infection of the crew aboard the ship. And thus, you're able to do that. I'm just going to wrap it up because we're at the end of the show, and I want to elaborate more.
But antidote too, so that everybody, we can all get out, and just as we go, we teleport it over to the Klingons.
Now, what I want to know, you're going to teleport it to the Klingons as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what will happen is they'll get some kind of derelict signal. Other Klingons will find them. They'll see the stuff. They'll figure out, we got to give it to them, and they'll fix their problem.
Yeah, because you're going to fight them if you stay in the vicinity. So I assume you wrap up, you teleport the crystal down to the surface after Dr. Spatty takes a portion of it to cure the crew, and then you leave it behind for them to eventually take hold.
Oh no, I'm saying if we can make it into an aerosol, because then we can put it into the air vents.
That's totally Star Trek.
People who come and find them would get infected. And,
Yeah. But I'm assuming it's a time release so that you're not around when they're cured, because they're probably still attacking.
Everybody's out.
Yeah.
All right, so you create the cure. You cured Ensign Kenobi. The ensigns down on the surface survive. Dr. McGovern and Dr. Stahl are okay. They get beamed back aboard. Everyone's cured. The Kulan thank you, and you follow first contact protocols and have now first met the Kulans, the Kulan alien race, and they proceed on their way back to their homeworld. The Emfari are honored. Dr. McGovern takes back the new science she learns with her back to Starfleet, and you make sure the Klingons don't wake up until you're long gone. And that is this week's episode. So at the end of a Star Trek adventure, instead of experience points, you do earn milestones. So you earn, that's basically 1 point of milestone if you have accomplished a specific thing. We're not going to get into it. Everyone gets what they call a milestone. Just mark it somewhere on your character sheet. However, someone also gets a spotlight milestone, and it's up for the players to decide who gets the spotlight milestone. There's some criteria for it, and I'm just going to go over the spotlight to help you decide. While I look it up in this 1,000,000-page-long PDF here to try and find it.
Spotlight milestone, it's called?
Yeah, so it's like one of the, in a Star Trek episode, someone's usually featured as like one of the cast members is central.
Yeah.
So you're going to award that to whoever was most central. So let me just see. Well, not most central, but hang on. I'm looking up.
Crucial to the mission success.
Yeah, here we go. Milestone. 'Cause it just has a list of
Because I'd give it to the doctor for the amazing idea of sending Spores over there.
Yeah, a spotlight milestone occurs when a single main character is particularly prominent and significant during an adventure. At the end, you may award a spotlight milestone, but also the players can do it. I like the players doing it, voting for it better. It's just a milestone. So basically, to level up, you need 2 milestones. So you're voting on whoever's going to level up. The milestone is not a level up, though. It's a side grade. So you -1 to something and +1 to something else.
Interesting.
That's because we're not playing this every week. I think you would just note that you have 2 milestones, and when we play our next session, if that ever happens, you can get your side grade. Okay. There's also an arc milestone, and that is a level up, but that represent a major growth period. So a value has to be challenged, and then someone grows out of it. So we're not going to get an arc milestone this time. So, anyways, vote for the person who gets the spotlight milestone today.
All right.
Yeah.
I vote for Captain Scott with the sound effects. You did a good job today, man.
I
You
would.
were into
Well, I
it.
appreciate that. I'd throw my vote at you for that idea because I think that solved that was our big solution, Trek style solution to how to solve our problem.
Same.
Yeah.
Agreed. You not only countered in the Star Trek universe, you performed an action of peace, and you countered chat at the exact same time.
Yep. Pretty
That's
good.
true. You did have play of the game.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, so we're agreed. Kristen gets a spotlight
Yep.
milestone.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so just mark that on your sheet that you got a spotlight milestone and a regular milestone. We're just going to give everyone a milestone.
So everyone gets a milestone. She gets a spotlight and that, which gives her a level up. And if we return to this world, we'll see.
Just
whatever
make sure
that
it's saved on your sheet, because if we play again, and send me a copy of your sheet now so I can store them and keep them on hand if we ever play again. I'd love to have John here playing this with us. I miss him so much.
Yeah, he'd have a good time with it.
And I definitely overloaded it as usual. A lot of moving parts, but I think it felt like at one point you guys were chatting. I'm like, this feels like a Star Trek episode I'm watching. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's super fun. I really, really enjoyed it. Like a lot. So yeah, my guess is we may return to it, and if we do, we'll have all the info we need. Other than that, a reminder that we're swinging in real close to the holidays. I don't know. Do we talk about a show next? I don't know if we have a show next week.
Weekend's
should
Christmas.
be off the next 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Christmas
that's
and
right.
New Year's.
So we're going to have a little bit of a break. We'll return to the waste after that, but we want you all to have a great holiday season, and we hope you're having a good time as we get closer to Christmas and New Year's and all that. In the meantime, if you want to support this show, you can do it at the website, therewillbedungeons.com. Click the link and become a supporter today. There are lots of benefits to doing that. You just got to get in there and check it out. Big thanks to everybody who already does. I think that's everything. Yep, it is. For me, for Kyle, for Kristen, for Bo. And John, he'll be back next time. We'll see you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Yes. Get more at frogpants.com.
Since I never got to use ship lasers, I figured I'd...
Yeah,